Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to the nation. We up in this thing, man. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate you guys for being in this episode of the show. Much love to the family members as we up in this thing. A shout out to the fam. How y'all doing today? All right, man. We good, man. We good up in this thing. Listen, it's a what is it? Sunday? It's a Sunday morning situation. Well, Sunday afternoon, rather. But shout out to the fam, man. I appreciate y'all being in the stream, man, up in this one, man. And we're going to talk about some Saints in this one. Shout out to the fam. Trying to get my new headphones set together here, man. It's kind of weird. Had the same set, man, a really good set. And I have them still in here, man, for a long time, man. It was a good headset. I tend to keep things for a very long time, man. Try to keep on to them. But shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Much love to the fam. Good afternoon to you as well. Appreciate you. Brother Torrey Shepard Sr. is in the building. Shout out to you. KT, my brother KT's in this thing. Trey Joseph was popping, bro. Trav 504. Old school OG Jerry Poor is in this thing as well. Much love. Yes, sir. KT, I got you, bro. I'm going to hit you up. Brother Gundam in this thing. Shout out to you, sir. Appreciate you. All right. Okay. Young City. Daron, what's happening, bro? He says, is they going to cut Pete or put Hurst or Penn at left guard? I don't think Pinion is the dude, bro. I don't think Pinion is going to be moved to a guard position. I think Pinion, ultimately, the idea they believe is to play the tackle position. I think Hurst would probably be more of the guy that'll field in at the guard position, which I've been saying, and a lot of the who that's been saying for a while, that you look at Hurst's game. Hurst is a guy that would do a lot better at the guard position. I think he lacks the ability to play effectively the left tackle position because it's so much speed. You got defensive end guys as fast as linebackers now, man. You know, what could Hurst do against that? You know, he did a pretty decent job when he was in there, credit to him, you know, and doing his thing. But I still say at this point of his career, his best position is interior guard position. So he'll be cheaper than Andrews Pete. But yes, you know, I'm a Andrews Pete guy, man. I always advocate for Andrews. But I think this could be the year where the Saints pull the lever on Andrews, man. This could definitely be the year. I could see something like that happening. So shout out to you, bro. All right, big ups to the rest of the fam as well. All right, appreciate y'all being this. What's up, Chef Jerry? Shout out to you. Dana, what's popping, Queen? Much love to the Queens, man. You know, I got to give it up to the Queens. All right, Gundam, I see what I could do on that, bro. Trap Star, what's popping, baby? Shout out to you as well. Elites in the building. K-Dot, what's happening, baby? The Cool Man 2782. Shout out to you. Good afternoon to you too, my friend. Louisiana man, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you. My boy Hemisphere is in this thing. Shout out to you as well. Good to see everybody in the building. My brother Hoodie, What's poppin' hoodie? He's in here. L Dub for real. Shout out to you. St. John Butler. Appreciate you, my brother. Good to see you in here as well. Brother Neville's in this thing as well. Good to see you. Hennessy. What's happening, Hennessy, man? Where you been, bro? What's poppin', Hennessy? Good to see you, bro. Shout out to you. All right, so shout out to all of the fam, man, as we get popping up in this thing. I know it's All-Star Sunday or whatever you call it, and really, as a Pelican person, I watched the slam dunk competition, and credit to the man that won it last night. I don't really know his name like that, but he was phenomenal. Did a lot of phenomenal dunks. And Trey Murphy did actually pretty well. I wasn't expecting Trey Murphy to do as well as he did on the slam dunk competition. But to be honest with you, it wasn't too bad. He did actually a pretty fantastic job, to be honest with you. That other guy just, my goodness, a 360 dunk with a reverse, that's tough to beat. And the guy didn't really make a lot of mistakes, and he kind of took that thing. So a shout out to that guy. And, like I said, man, it's not really a Pelican thing if it ain't popping, man. I don't care about the rest of them. Only when we stumping the you-know-what and the you-know-what. All right, so big ups to the fam. What's up, Antoinette? Shout out to your brother Brandon's in this thing as well. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in here. As we're going to talk, the name of this one is Top Saints Restructure Candidates. We're going to look at a few things here and go over a few things. I'm going to share with the guys, the family members, the Great Saint Think Tank, and the rest of the Who Dat Nation. I'm going to share with you guys my first mock draft of the season. You guys know we do a lot of mocking here with the Saints, and I'm going to show to you my first mock draft. And I don't want to do a lot of mock drafts. I believe, over time, things change, and then you upgrade it. But if you do too many mock drafts, what it do is it kind of water down your mock. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't, it's just, the way I do mocking, I'd be like looking at the team and what's going on with the team and what positions and stuff that we could really do and what could the true value that we can get out of the team when it's all said and out of the draft when it's all said and done. So I try not to water down my mocks, to do too many mocks, man. I try not to do that. It steals away from it. All right, so with that being said, Matthew, what's happening, bro? Good to see you in here. What's up, Hush World? Good to see you, fam. Much love to you. Appreciate you chiming in on this one. 504 Co says, what about Ram trade Q and move Penning to right tackle and draft another left tackle? Well, I've never been a person that advocated for Trevor Penning to be a left tackle. I wanted him to be the right tackle. I wanted that to go because I thought that would be a better position for Trevor Penning to deal with. And being that most of the quarterbacks that we bringing in here are right-handed quarterbacks, you need to have a guy at the left side that is your most reliable offensive lineman. And I thought that was Ryan Ramczyk. He's definitely the top 5 paid running back in the business. So why isn't he at the left tackle position? I really do, family. I still wrestle with why he's over there. I really do. I wrestle with that. I'm like, I don't understand, because that goes against traditional logic that most people tend to use when you talk about the guard position, right? I'm saying, why is he over there? And it's traditional, and it's still the same thing across the NFL. You go to any other team, the best offensive lineman is your left tackle, unless your quarterback is left-handed. Then it will be the opposite way. So the Saints are backwards as they can be. You got the best offensive lineman at the right side and your rookie at the left side on the blind side. Seriously? And it's like, well, Q, they think he's a prodigy. Even to the people that believe that, if they believe he was a prodigy, then why the Saints ain't start him soon as he came off the injury list when he was good to go? The Saints waited games before they decided to put Trevor Penning in there. Y'all remember that? So even the left tackle situation made no sense. Even if for the people that were saying Q, it cost more money to put Ram at left tackle, I don't care. We already paying him money. He's already a top 5 offensive lineman. What more? You know what I'm saying? Move him over there and let's see what he can do. Put him where he belongs. He's supposed to be a left. If he's the top paid, top 5 guy in the league, put him over there on the left side for the quarterback's blind side. Right? Makes sense, right? But the Saints say, no, Q, we're going to put him over at the right side and put a Stark Raven rookie at the opposite end for Jameis Winston. and whoever else you got up in there. So I still don't get the logic on that, man. This is like stuff that's been going on for years. You always put the best offensive lineman, especially when we talking tackles, at the blind side of the quarterback for obvious reasons. The Saints, but maybe this is one of the things why we failing, because we doing untraditional, ridiculous, back-tailed stuff that don't make any sense. That's why we sitting up here 7-10. Dumb moves like that one you can point at. So I've never been a guy for that. I think high-paid Ram should be at the left side. Pinion should be at the right side, and let him learn the position that way. And Andrus, I'm thinking he might be a casualty. We'll cover an article on here, and we'll go from there. So with that being said, let's keep it moving and shaking. Shout out to the fam. Brother Pat Richards is in this thing. Mr. Who That's in this thing. Good to see you, Brother David. I see you, fam. Appreciate you. Who That Dude, appreciate you. The whole sense. The whole season didn't make no sense. I'm with you, Who That Dude. I'm with you on that, my brother. Appreciate you. Hemisphere says, Q, with all the turnover with the coaching on defensive side of the ball, would it amaze anyone for DA to go heavy on defense in the draft? No, it wouldn't, my friend. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. But that's not the problem, and really speaking of like a pressing need, and I'm going to show you my mock and after I cover some stories, just to keep it real with you. It's interesting that you say that, but yeah, Dennis Allen's mentality is defense, and they're going to try to build this thing like the defense carries the team. I wish I would have never. I wish I would have. I just want because listen, remember the Saints diehards and historians in the building. Go back. Remember when the defense was something, in our great yesteryear, the golden years, and you had the Dome Patrol here, and the Dome Patrol defense was something, but the offense still had to carry its water. The offense wasn't a unit that we would talk about and say, well, they the top 5 in the league, but the offense ran the ball well. They had a good offensive line, and they put up some points. Most of the time, not enough points, but we had an elite special teams unit with an excellent kick returner back there. We had an excellent all-pro Hall of Fame kicker in Martin Anderson, who, when the Saints fell short offensively speaking, just put Martin Anderson out there and the Great Dane kicked you into a victory. That's how it ran. Now, I don't really want to go back to that. Just keep it real. Thank you, Prom. He says Mike called the Saints middle staff. He says Mike called the Saints middle staff. Okay, and free Jameis. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you as well. And Elite, thank you, brother Prime. Shout out for that, for being a member of the family for 26 months, a Pro Mega Star. So I'm gonna just say this and move on about it. But yeah, it's interesting, man. It's just really, really interesting to think about what's going on with the black and gold. I mean, man, to get honest with you, it's really weird. All right, so shout out to you on that, bro. Shout out to my brother Big Low. Appreciate him chiming in as well. Shout out to my brother Low. Brandon says, do you think we should at least try to trade for Justin Fields or Lamar Jackson, bro? Do they have the imagination for that? Because a lot of family members message me and they say, or DM me and say, Q, oh, Justin Fields, man, you're not really talking about Justin Fields. How about Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields? Well, reports are indicating that they could be. They could be. There's conflicting reports, very conflicting reports, which kind of makes me think that Lamar Jackson could possibly not be there, because they're saying, not just the general manager and the coaching staff are in lockstep telling you and the rest of the NFL world that Lamar Jackson, we're going to get Lamar Jackson under contract. If they don't get Lamar, they can always franchise tag Lamar, And my commentary on Lamar Jackson is, if the Saints wanted Lamar Jackson, they should have drafted him several years ago instead of Marcus Davenport, who is a bust. So you can chalk that one up to the late, great Sean Payton for doing that one, reaching all the way to the University of Texas at San Antonio to grab Davenport, who was hurt at the time, who they drafted Davenport the very next day, had hand surgery, and that was a bad omen because he was hurt ever since. I said forever, and I said it during the draft show. You can go listen to it. I said, man, this dude's going to be he's going to be forever attached in Saints lore to Lamar Jackson, because the Saints had an opportunity to get Lamar Jackson then, and they passed him up for Davenport, who is a first-round bust. And I said it a couple years ago. I wouldn't say it because I just wanted to see what he can do. Last year, he played a lot more, and he didn't do what a first-round draft pick guy is supposed to do, which is get sacks opposite of Cam Jordan. So Cam captured Ricky Jackson's sack record, and then you have Davenport on this side, and Davenport sitting up here, smacking people in the side of their helmets, getting ejected in the final games of the season. So I mean, anything's possible, but do the Saints have the imagination to go and get Lamar Jackson? And what does a Lamar Jackson trade look like? That's the ultimate question. Q, do we go get Lamar Jackson? Well, let's think about it. What does a Lamar Jackson trade look like? What does it look like? And that's the whole thing I'm thinking about. Now, Justin Fields is a very interesting young quarterback. I don't really talk too much about a potential Justin Fields trade. I really don't, because I don't see the Saints with an imagination to go and get that deal. What I mean by that? Well, Dennis Allen is the leader of the team. Dennis, do you believe that Dennis Allen has the imagination to go get Justin Fields and then entrust him with the offense in a year where Dennis Allen is facing in termination? If he doesn't win this year, he's fired. He understands that he wasn't supposed to make it this past year. Mickey Loomis hid and hid and ran from the Who Dat Nation. With people yelling to the Twitters and the comment section, calling up there, telling them fire this guy. He ran all around to get away from explaining to you why Dennis Allen is still on this team. He did all of that. Them people still running from you right now. They don't give you no press conferences. And I keep saying that. But in a couple of weeks, we're going to give you, well, hold on, let me get my Mickey together. Hold on here, Q. You got to get it all right. Oh, he did promise you to get you some press conferences in a couple of, some press conferences, in a couple of weeks. Well, a couple of weeks turned into a month and some change, didn't it? About a month now. You don't get press conferences for nothing. They hire new coaches. They don't go there and hold a press conference to tell you who these people are. You don't get nothing. No ting. You get no ting at all. No ting. You get no press conference, no nothing. They just do shit and then put out a release. You get no ting, not nothing. No ting at all. No ting. All right. So anyway, Daniel Jones, they got some other guys that they'll probably run at you sooner or later. But the reality is, man, do these people have the vision to go after some of these guys? Dennis Allen's going after people he knows. He did that in his coaching staff. He did that trying to go after Derek Carr. The Saints were willing to give a third-round draft pick, is what the Raiders offered for him. They were willing to give the $40 million guaranteed money. So at first I was like, man, they ain't going to pay that money. Like, hell, they not. They were giving the Raiders the pick that they wanted for Carr, and they were giving Carr the money. Carr was the one who nixed the deal because, like I showed on the previous stream, he did not want to give the Raiders anything for mistreating them on the back end of the season. That was what the insider said, that Carr didn't want to leave and give them anything, and he left giving them nothing, and they got nothing for him because he felt they disrespected them on the back end of the season by benching them for the former 2 games, despite the fact that the dude did make a Pro Bowl. So you got benched on the back end of the season on a Pro Bowl year. That's kind of, I don't really remember hearing, bench like to help you out, not, benched in the negative fashion, not benched because we want to save you for a postseason berth. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know if I remember something like that happening where a player who made the Pro Bowl got benched 2 games prior to the season, regular season ended. No, I don't think that was a very unique circumstance. I don't think I remember. I would have to think on it to remember something that far back or something happening like that. So he nixed the deal, goes into free agency. He thinks he gets the money. He creates, and he does. It was a smart move. And I was like, yo, I don't think y'all should do that. But Dennis Allen is desperate. If anything, that showed us that the Saints are desperate. Now, do they reach the Lamar Jackson and says that? I don't know. But what does a Lamar Jackson trade looks like? Jerome says Jackson 2 or 3 firsts. Fields might be 1 first. Fields is not. I just don't see it, bro. The Fields thing, I don't see it because I'm looking at Dennis Allen as the guy. A guy with some brains would do it. But Dennis Allen is a guy who is not going to hitch his little wagon to Justin Fields. Justin Fields simply hadn't done enough positive in the NFL to coax the Saints into saying this guy is the answer. He'll do that with Carr because he drafted Carr. There's the familiarity. He'll overpay for Carr. So it might be a situation where the Saints will overpay to get Carr to come to New Orleans because that's who Dennis Allen wants, because it's a state of desperation for the Saints to win, and it really is. So I don't know about the Fields thing. I just don't see him going to the Fields thing. I see him zoning in on Carr and giving him everything that he possibly wants to land him, which is, what can I tell you, fam? What can I tell you about that? It's just what it is. All right. Yeah, Alan said, what's up, Alan? He said, what the heck is wrong with Jameis? Bro, I don't know, bro. I don't know. And listen, if Dennis Allen can get a second chance to be the coach of the New Orleans Saints, Jameis Winston should get a second chance to be the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. You still got Jameis under contract for what, 14, 15 million for this year. He's the only quarterback you have under contract because Taysom is not a quarterback. Okay, let's get that straight. So the only quarterback you have is Jameis. So what he was like, what's wrong with him? By the time the season comes, he was healthy enough to play last year when he came off the injury list and he was listed as a third string quarterback on the Saints depth chart. He'll be super healthy when the offseason. So, $15 million, 14, 15, whatever the case may be for Jameis. Listen, that is actually a steal based on current prices. If you go look at some of the numbers, they talking about paying Carr $40 million a year, family. Jameis is on a team for 15. Even if you draft the quarterback in the second round and you stay with Jameis and you do your thing, that gives you a better chance than bringing in somebody that will have to relearn or learn everything just to get you to a point. So a new quarterback represents a new learning curve, which means the Saints will have to be a little bit patient and let whoever the new quarterback is come in there and learn what he needs to do. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Carr's a multiple Pro Bowl quarterback. And he has a fantastic arm. He is a guy that piles up a lot of yards, and his offenses do look explosive. They just don't win a lot of games as a starting quarterback. 63 games, 63 and 79 of his starting ratio with one playoff win, I think it was. But a lot of flux and up and down stuff and changing of coaches happened during his tenure and with the Raiders. So it's not a bad look to look at Carr, to bring Carr here, but he ain't the answer. He ain't the answer. The Saints need a lot of other stuff to happen, and it sits on top of the team to see success, because the Saints could win with what they have right now, but it's just like I said, Dennis Allen soured the relationship with Jameis Winston. He disrespected them last offseason by running after Deshaun Watson, getting turned down. And this year, the Saints are going to free up as much capital so they can go after Carr again, and they will secure Carr, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to do everything they can to get that guy down here. But he ain't the answer. He ain't totally the answer. The Saints still need a lot more than just Carr. He helps, though. Now, don't get me wrong. He helps. All right, so anyway, family, shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all being here. GM Kev, shout out to you, bro. Says $40 million a year. No way. They were willing to give it to him. I played the reports. The Saints was the only team in the NFL that offered to trade with the Raiders. Why? Because the Saints did not want a scenario where Carr ends up in free agency. What happened? They were trying to get him from the Raiders to the Saints and eck out everybody else. Now that Carr says, oh, no, you're not going to decide where I go to the Raiders. That's what he told them. Y'all ain't going to decide where I go. I'm going to free agent, and I'm going to decide on where I go. And when he did that, that told me that, hold on here, that might not be exactly where this guy wants to end up. Might not be. Because if you wanted to be with Dennis Allen, you would have let that trade go through. You'd have got your money. You'd have got, you know what I'm saying? The Saints would rework the contract out with him, however you wanted to do it. And then, whatever. That helps us out because we don't have to give up any draft capital to another third-round pick, which would have been this year's third-round pick. And we wouldn't have to give up. And besides, we lost out on the third-round pick with the Sean Payton trade because still in all, they haven't explained to us, why would you need to tack on a third-round draft pick just to trade Sean Payton to the Broncos when Payton should have been good enough? You still ain't got that explanation. So at the end of the day, man, we're going to do this thing. But anyway, Jeremy says Winston is gone. Ireland pretty much said so the other. Yeah, well... Yeah, we covered that, bro. We played that piece on it where he was talking about the quarterbacks and stuff like that. And even though they don't want to come out and admit it, we've been saying that before the season ended, when you didn't want to see what Jameis looks like in the Carolina game, the final game of the season, and the Saints sitting up there They didn't want to see what happened at what he looked like at a game that meant absolutely nothing. They put Andy Dalton in there so he can get that $1 million, that incentive. That told me everything I know. I was like, why isn't Jameis out there? Why isn't he playing? Don't you want to get a look? No, the Saints don't have any interest in that. So I'm anticipating them to release him. But if they don't get a starting quarterback, you better not release him. You better hold on to him best way you can and make the relationship right. But once again, Dennis Allen doing what he did in Oakland. He tends to alienate people. He's not a lot of good of anything, man, to be honest with you. He's a good defensive coordinator. I give him that. But as a coach coordinator, he can't do it because he can't account for all these variables on offense and special teams. The offense needs help. They need a different, another vision there. You need to promote somebody there. And then on the special team side, you're not paying attention to the special teams. Our special teams unit not looking all that good. The best thing that was the special teams last year was the punter, Blake Gillikin. That was the best part of the special teams. The coffin corning, punting Blake Gillikin. Because Will Lutz he was 10 percentage accuracy points lower than what he was the previous year. So, I mean, not looking too good. And then the Saints kick return aspect, and I'm the only one saying this over and over again, is that the Saints suck at kick return and punt return. Meaning when you kick them the ball and they try to return it to you, they can't do nothing. They can't block. And I'm like, dude, that we need to get, and he can't even see that. And he should at least demoted or fired Darian Rizzi and elevated Phil Galliano to the special teams coach, because in the end, man, we need everybody help. The hell with this defense. The Saints are a defensive team. The Saints defense will carry the team. The hell with that. Everybody carry their own water. We ain't going back to the 80s when we got the defense built way up here, the offense down here, and the special teams down here. The hell with that. Everybody carry their own water. That's what I'm talking about. If we're going to win as a unit. If we lose, we're going to lose as a unit. That's how it go. We're going to win as a unit. The hell with all that. Defense is the identity of the... No. The Saints play hard defense. The Saints play hard offense. They run the ball well. They don't turn the ball over. They don't commit turnovers and fumbles and false starts and holding penalties and like the stuff they led the league in last year. We need to do that. But that has to be built in the mindset of the freaking coaches at the top. So anyway, let's get into this, fam. Please do me a service. What's up, Farouk? Shout out to you, Noah Lagoon. I see you, fam. Much love to you as well. Good to see you out here in the stream. Josh, what's up, bro? He says Carr only made the Pro Bowl because none of the FC QBs showed up. I don't know how. I mean, I'll ride with you on that, bro. I don't know. I don't know the meat and potatoes behind the Pro Bowl. He made multiple Pro Bowls, bro. And some of them didn't show up for whatever reason, bro. So I'll rock with you on that. Ain't no thing. But still in all, bro, the dude was still in the mention to become a Pro Bowler, man. So that's like what people said about Andrews PQ. He was only this because this guy was hurt. Well, you still got to be a person that's playing high. They don't just go and call the practice squad player and say, hey, bro, you doing something on Saturday? We might need you to play in the Pro Bowl. Don't work like that. They got a list of players, and if guys get hurt the game before, they go to the next guy on the list. That's still an honor to be listed among the best at your craft out of all of the hundreds of people that's in the NFL, that you still listed in that line. So when guys get hurt, they just go down to the next one. So it's still an honor, man. It's not like it's something you can throw in the trash can. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like the NBA's version of to be all-star, the foolishness that they do over there, you know? But anyway, let's get into it, man. All right. Shout out to you, Kai. Good to see you in the chat, fam. Let me share my screen with you. We're going to jump right into what's going on with this thing, man. And of course, the first one is Ramcheck. Lattimore among top Saints restructure candidates is coming via the wire as they drop some science about what they think should happen. Of course, you'll see that the $55 million that the cap the Saints are over currently, they need to restructure some stuff to get down. So the Saints are still over the cap by $55 million after restructuring. Safety markets made this week. So it's clear that they have a lot of work to do. A month ahead in free agency, they will have to continue to lean on the restructure strategy to open up the cap resources to keep the best players in town. So who are the top candidates to be restructured? Many of these contracts are designed with future moves in mind. So it's not too difficult to scout ahead and guess at which players will rework their deals in the coming days and weeks. Quick look at some of the ones that they're looking at according to over the cap which is a really good resources for contracts and everything. NFL, NBA, all pro contracts, really. Okay, Ryan Ramczyk at the top of the list, which is, we covered this on the last stream, that it was reported that he is currently, the Saints are restructuring Ryan Ramczyk's deal now. Now, here's the numbers according to Over the Cap for those who want to know the resource. Current cap hit 21 plus million. The max restructure savings can be over 9.5. Now, Underhill reported that the Saints already are at work restructuring Rams' deal, but it might be more complicated than a simple restructure. What that means is unclear. Ramczyk's side wants a new extension. Maybe the Saints want to pay his signing bonus and regular installations rather than a single lump sum, or maybe it's a secret, more complex third thing. At any rate, Rams' final cap charge won't be anywhere close to its current state. So Ryan Ramczyk getting something worked out. The Saints going to kind of go through this stuff over the next couple of weeks. Next up, Laddie Daddy. Current salary cap hit over $22 million. Max restructure savings over $10 million. The Saints restructured Lattimore last year too, but that always been part of the plan. They'll continue to lower his base salary value at $14.5 million to the veteran minimum and pay the difference as a signing bonus because it allows them greater financial flexibility. So, yeah, that's a smart one. How about Cam the Man Jordan's next? Salary cap hit 25.7 mil. Max restructure savings over 10 million. Jordan currently has the highest cap hit on the team, and it is definitely going to change. He's also in the final year, Cam's final year of his contract. It might make more sense to sign him to a new deal, which it makes a lot of sense because the Saints should re-sign Cam Jordan. Add to him maybe a couple of years on top of that thing. Cam is still, you still don't have a sturdier, and listen, and the Saints drafted guys. They put 2 first-round draft picks on defensive ends in the hopes of giving Cam just a compliment, and Davenport was a bust. Peyton Turner is the other guy that they put a first-round draft pick. He is a decent player, but he can't stay on the field, but Cam can. Cam is a commodity, man. He's very unique. That just goes to show you, man, throughout the course of his career, imagine how greater he could have been if he'd had a decent compliment consistently next to him over the span of his time that he's been here, or at least one, 2 guys that have been, goddamn, we couldn't even get that. So anyway, his restructure with usual void years, which would achieve the same effect while allowing him to close out his career with the Saints. Yeah, Cam should be a lifetime Saint, man. We need to make that happen. Good point. Eric McCoy says current salary cap hit over 12.6 million. Max restructure is 8 million flat. Most of McCoy's cap hits comes from that $10 million roster bonus, which is prime for restructuring, which the Saints did last year with Ramczyk and Lattimore. Paying it out as a signing bonus instead lowers his salary cap charge to just over $4.6 million. This has been a common move for the Saints in recent years. That's old Mickey Loomis and Kai Harley two-step. And this is AK-41. Current cap hit over $16 million. The max restructure just over $7 million. Much of Kamara's salary cap hit is tied to that $9.4 million base salary, but he also is due a couple of workout and roster bonuses that can all be converted to a more manageable signing bonus. He also has some incentive to agree on a restructure because he wouldn't forfeit any signing bonus payouts as a part of the league suspension stemming from his arrest in Las Vegas last year. How about Tyrann Mathieu? Current hit of 8.9 mil. Max restructure is over 4.3 mil. Mathieu is in a similar situation to May as a veteran safety signed to a 3-year deal, so it makes sense for him to restructure his contract, lowering his $7 million base to a veteran minimum and paying out the difference in signing bonus is the best move for the black and gold. You better believe it. Then other restructure candidates, according to the writer, just the moves outlined above erases $50 million in salary cap commitments without cutting a single player, giving them within a stone's throw of cap compliance. They would be over the cap by about just shy of $6 million if all these numbers are what's eventually used. So it'll take more moves to get the Saints under the cap and open up room for free agent signings. And that's not necessarily involving restructures. They could release some players instead. or wait to trade them until after June 1st when it's more financially viable. Either way, here's some of the top remaining salary cap hits. Andrews Pete. Look at Andrews' cap hit of 18.3, over 18.3 million for Andrews. Jameis, 15.6. Taysom, 14.1. Can't guard Mike, 13.3. Demario Davis, 13.2. James Hurst, 6.7. Will Lutz, 5.6. Carl Grandison, 4.1. Roby is 4 million, just over 4, and Traquan Smith is 3.4. Really? And that's some of the people. So Bradley Roby, we could probably be looking at Roby being, man, you know, Roby's, he's just a disaster trade. That was a disaster trade. The guy reminds me of, what's his name? He used to play for us, Pat Robertson. Yeah, he reminds me of Patrick Robertson with the braids. Y'all remember when Pat Robertson had braids and he was just getting smoked and cooked in that uniform? And, you know, it's just everywhere Pat Robertson went, it was just the smell of burnt chicken everywhere. You know, he would have smoldering remains from his uniform as he walked around the stadium, you know, so it looked like he just walked straight through a burning house. That's what Pat Robertson, and that's what Bradley Roby remind me of, man, for real. And you got Traquan Smith there. Eventually, you got to move on from these guys, man. But yeah, the Saints are definitely going to make this stuff pop and shake and make it work. So yeah, the restructurings, it seems like a lot to do, but once again, remember the Saints do this kick the can down the road thing so very well. All right, Pelicans Nola says, Big Q, do you think we're getting Derek Carr? It's a possibility, man. The Saints were willing to, this is how I look at it logically. The Saints were the only team looking to trade for him from the Raiders. They were willing to offer this year's 3rd round draft pick for Derek Carr's services. They were willing to pay him the $40-something million a season, whatever it was. 33.1, I think it was this year. And then the next 2 years at 40 million, it has, you know, it escalates to 40 million next year and 40 million the next year after that. They were willing to absorb that contract and do what they needed to do to get Carr in here and not allow him to get into free agency. I think they were doing that, you know, because, you know, they wanted the man in here, but I guess depending on how desperate it is, they got to draw a line in the sands that we are not going to willing to go over this point to get Carr. When Carr reneged the deal and had that indicator in his contract where he could refuse the trade, he pulled it and went into free agency because he didn't want, like I said before, he didn't want to give the Raiders anything as he left because he felt like they disrespected him by benching him the final 2 games of the season. So he left on his own. He gonna go wherever he wants to go on his own. Not saying the Saints are out of the equation, but it's all based on how desperate the Saints are to compete with other teams who want Carr as they do. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. But Dennis Allen wants that kid. He wants him to be the Saints quarterback, you know. But anyway, let's keep it moving, fam. Let's go to this article right here. Saints Michael Thomas deletes tweet criticizing NFL medical staff. This is Tremarin Walsh from Bleacher Report. I know you guys probably heard about this. Mike Thomas has struggled with injuries over the past 3 years that have caused him to miss a significant amount of time, and the Saints wide receiver appeared to voice his frustrations with the medical staff on Saturday. In a pair of since deleted tweets, Thomas responded to a tweet stating that former Eagles safety Chris Maragos was awarded $43.5 million in a lawsuit against his doctors over a career-ending knee injury, saying it was the right decision. The NFL medical sucks. Cheap and uneducated. Their job requires barely any education or curriculum. He added, well, at least some places he says, well, at least and some places I know. So Mike said, you know what? Let me go ahead on and delete that. Let me put the deletion button. Too late. It's already out there, Mike. You can't take it back, baby. He said Thomas has spent his entire career in the Big Easy, was once considered one of the NFL's elite wide receivers after posting 4 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. He also earned 3 Pro Bowl selections, 2 All-Pros, and Offensive Player of the Year award in that span in 2019 campaign. He set an NFL record with 149 catches. Things came crashing down for him following the season when he appeared in just 9 games, including the postseason, because of ankle and hamstring issues. He underwent tightrope surgery on his right ankle in 21, And there's hope Thomas could return for the 21 campaign, but the former veteran indicated that he suffered a setback. He said 29 returned to the field in 22. The 29-year-old returned in 2022, but appeared in just 3 games before undergoing injuries, surgery on his toe. His status for the 23 campaign is unclear as his status with the Saints. The Ohio State product restructured his contract with the franchise last month, according to Phil Yates, reducing his $15.5 million base salary to a $1.2 million salary. The restructure also adds almost $32 million roster bonus for the 2024 that becomes fully guaranteed on March the 17th. The restructure indicates New Orleans could be looking to move on from the wide receiver in the coming weeks and months. If Thomas and the Saints part ways, he'd be eligible to sign anywhere in free agency. However, considering his recent injury history, he won't be getting a significant deal that may have otherwise received. He may have otherwise have received, being that he was healthy. So, Michael Thomas, how you feel about that? So this is really interesting that this is saying that this whole situation here. Very good insight though on the medical staffs in the NFL. A lot of questions was asked about, what's up with our medical staff, and it's interesting that this is Thomas responded to a tweet stating that former Philadelphia Eagles safety Chris Maragos was awarded, that's a lot of money, $43.5 million in a lawsuit against the doctors over a career-ending knee injury, saying right decision. NFL medical sucks. Cheap and uneducated job requires barely any education or curriculum. How about that? I find that hard to believe, but then again, that's why a lot of players have their own doctors. They've been knowing this. You heard that with several other players that could afford to use their own doctors. And a lot of these guys have their own doctors. If you got a guy that's making a significant amount of money, he has some type of star caliber to his name. And the money that follows, most of these guys have their own little side medical staffs that they go to because some of them don't trust the team's medical staffs. How about that? How that sound? Oh, very interesting, man. That's very interesting. Good insight, though, to be honest with you. Every now and again, they'll drop some dimes on us and do that. All right, so anyway, Hemisphere says Q is the Jets. Jets is visiting with Carr this weekend. Jets has their eye on Rosen, Green Bay. They're willing to trade Rodgers. Las Vegas is also interested in Rodgers. Yeah, what I heard is that they really want to go after him. We don't know what he's going to do when he comes back from whatever this little retreat is. No Lagoon says, so cute. Do we restructure him till we let him go? I think it could be coming to. I want Michael Thomas on this team because I would love to see what Michael Thomas and Chris Olave look like together. You have the possession guy and the speed guy, and then of course you have Rashid Shaheed there. I would love to see what that looks like, but in the end, it could be a money issue. We'll see what the Saints do on the end, man. But I would love to have them on the team. But yeah, the money is a part of it. Who that to you, Kevin? Good to see Kevin McKnight in here. Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. All right. So anyway, let's go into this. Is my mock, fam. Let me give you a little dose of my mock draft. This is the latest mock draft I did on PFF website here, as you can see. And this is what I did. Okay, this is my very first mock that I'm sharing with the family members. And this is how I seen it, right? With all of our picks. Tua Poluto is hold on, let me say his name right because I don't want to screw it up. I'm known for screwing up some of these names, so I'm going to take my time. Tua Poluto is a guy. Now listen, this guy was a guy that I paid attention to, like, the final, I'm just going to call him Thule. All right. I ain't going to butcher the hell out of that man's name, but listen, Thule is a hell of a defensive lineman, man. And listen, you're looking at guys from USC. I don't really look at the USC guys, defensive line guys, but this guy pops right off the page. I'm not going to lie to you. He first popped up on my radar when late in the regular season for USC, and then later on during the bowl season when Tulane played those guys. Now, if you go back and span and do some research on Thule, he's all over the field. He's a guy that has the right temperament that I would love to have on the Saints defensive line, a guy that would be a compliment to Cam Jordan. He's super aggressive. He has a high motor. He's strong. He has a good repertoire of movements. And he's a guy that's a winner. He's going to win. He uses a bevy of different tools. He can overpower you. He can go around you. And then once he gets his hands on you, you're not getting away from him. He's a fantastic player. Remember, Saints pick at 29th is basically a early second round pick. And I was saying to myself, Cam Jordan, we got to find answer at the defensive line position because I don't feel comfortable there. We know Davenport is a free agent. I don't want Davenport in here. I think Davenport's gone, and he could end up with the Atlanta Falcons, to be honest with you. With Ryan Nielsen going out there, they can use a pass rusher, and they got $50+ million right now. Davenport might be the guy that they're looking to go with. Now, what Thule does is, if you put the film on him, he's a fantastic guy firing off the edges. He's just a really good player at the position. Let me give you a little profile on him. He's 6'4", 209 pounds. A good edge guy there, 6'4", 290 pounds from USC. He's a guy that does a lot. He had 13 and a half sacks for the Trojans this year with 46 tackles. He had 31 of which was solos. He forced a couple of fumbles as well. And like I said, he has good size. He plays the pass and run equally well. He can get to you. And like I said, he got good speed, not super fast, but he got decent speed, but he's a very good defensive lineman. And what we getting him for at the back of the first round, basically a second round pick. So Thule is a guy that I'm like, man, we could use a guy with his temperament to add to the defensive line. And remember, Dennis Allen is a defensive coach. So you can't look at the Saints team and say, oh, they're going to go offensive. I mean, he's going to look to tool up the defensive line because we need that. We need interior help there, and I just don't see the Saints taking a first-round draft pick or a 29th pick and putting it on a defensive tackle. I don't see him doing that, like drafting a nose tackle. They don't have not one nose tackle on this team, not because they don't, because there's not any out there. It's just the fact that they don't see the nose tackle as a position that, that's a valuable position. I do. I think nose tackle is a very important position, and every team should have at least two of those guys. Saints don't have no nose tackles on this team, none of them. So they're using tweener tackles like Shy Tuttle and Malcolm Roach and these other guys. These are tweener types. You need a guy that does like that, a big plotting guy that you can't move. So starting off with the 29th pick, I fire off with a defensive end because we need a compliment to Cam because I like Carl Granderson. I just don't see Granderson as that guy. We got Peyton Turner. Yeah, we put up a first-round draft pick on Peyton Turner, but y'all know that could be a Davenport situation. We can't rely on him. But Thule's a guy, man, that played a lot of games. He's really good at what he does. He's super productive, and he got better each year that he played. So this is a really good player for us to look at. The next guy on the list, second, y'all already know the name. Y'all already know the game. It's Mr. Hendon Hooker himself. Now, often, when I see Hendon Hooker, man, Hendon Hooker remind me of a brother that you can like go back, like if you do a movie about Selma or you go back, you can cast him in the movie because he looked like a brother that you can take from currently and drop him right in the 40s and 50s. He got an old school look to him, you know what I'm saying? Hendon Hooker, you could take him and drop him right in the middle of one of the, or 1940s, 50s movie set, and back in the days, and you can cast him as the brother in the soup line or the brother eating some pie in the diner. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like they got old school look to him. But Hendon Hooker's game is new school, is really good. 6'4", 220 pounds. Brother is phenomenal, man. He has the leadership abilities. He has the size. He has the intelligence. And he's a playmaker, man. And you could put the game on his hands. He's ready for it, man. We got Tennessee ties already with guys like Cody Burns on the team. I just think so much of Hendon Hooker. I was watching him because I'm an SEC dude. I'm an LSU guy, and I was watching Hendon Hooker. He took the Tigers apart, and we had a pretty decent defense, and he did that pretty much for the entire season up until when he got hurt. But listen, this dude is phenomenal. He would be a top 4 pick in the draft had he not dealt with the injury situation. He's still rehabbing from that thing. But listen, Hendon Hooker is a guy you want to get and you should be able to get with that second round draft pick. 124.6 on his QB rating. He threw for over 3,000 yards. His completion rating was almost 70% last year. He threw for 27 touchdowns against 2 interceptions and even had a little scramble to his game. Every time he took off, he averaged 4 yards per scramble. Phenomenal player, man. Reason why he's going low than with the rest of these guys is because he's rehabbing that injury that he got during the season. So you don't have a reason to, this is a futuristic pick to get a guy like Hendon Hooker. And besides, Cam Jordan was a guy that also advocated for Hendon Hooker. And anybody that got sense knows that Hendon Hooker is a guy that you could put on your team and he'll lead you into the next 5 to 10 years of successful football. You need a quarterback, and one of some of the best attributes that I talked about what I didn't talk about with Hendon Hooker is that he's a leader. I mean, he's a guy that knows what he's doing. He's, like I said, he's intelligent, and he has the it factor. He's a guy that makes things happen. And when you're going against Lamar Jacksons and Bryce Youngs and C.J. Strouds and Will Levis and guys like that, and Anthony Richardsons, you're going to need a Hendon Hooker to battle with these guys, man. Listen, our adversaries are not playing, and we shouldn't be either. So the Saints going to have to step up and make something happen. All right, so let's go to the next one. Third round pick, 7 overall, Mr. Tajay Spears. Say, Q, you got a running back? You damn right I got a running back. And his name is Mr. Tajay Spears. This guy is phenomenal. Not phenomenal, phenomenal. This guy is awesome, man. Speed, got a little power to his game, a lot of wiggle in his game, satellite back that runs around you. He even showed some power in the USC game, which was his biggest moment. And I give him that because in the biggest moment of his young career, he shined the absolute brightest. And if it wasn't for his contribution in that game, the Tulane Green Wave wouldn't have won. He had 4 touchdowns in that game. He ran for 200 yards in that game or something like that. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that. But he put up a lot of yardage in the game, had a lot of big plays in the game. Like you, what you looking at Tajay Spears for? Because listen, Elvin Kamara's contract comes due in a little bit, and then on top of that, you have Elvin could be facing some suspension time from league discipline coming up this upcoming season. You don't want to lose the Elvin Kamara style plays, and that's some of the things I often talk about. If you got multiple backs, you got to have some guys. You're gonna have a Elvin Kamara, if you could get him a power back behind Elvin, and then a third back that does a little of what Elvin and the other guy does. And Tajay Spears is a guy that you can bring in. They can catch the ball out the backfield. He is a playmaker. He has so many different applications. It's ridiculous. And for a guy that got some type of imagination, offensively speaking, they can utilize the Tajay Spears in their offense to give him even more effectiveness. So he's super fast. I mean, this guy would be an absolute blessing, and I got him in the 3rd round. So let's carry on. So I'm tooling up. I got us. I'm going to break it all down. All right, Q, what about the interior? Bro, you didn't address the interior defensive line. David Onyemata. Who do we get right here? I got you somebody. His name is Keandre Coburn. Big guy, 6'2", 344 pounds of pure get back. And let me tell you something. From Texas, this guy here played, some time, man. Listen. This guy is a force, man. If you put the tape on and watch Mr. Coburn plays, he's a force there. And I got him with the 4th round pick. Last year, he had 27 tackles. But the thing you got to realize about this guy is a nose tackle. Now listen, you got big nose tackles, guys that are 6'3" and above. He's a smaller nose tackle, 6'2", which means he gets up under the pads. You see what I'm saying, baby? He gets up under the pads, baby. He drive your back, baby. That's how it's supposed to go, baby. You got to understand. That's how the position go, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. I'm going to tell you something, baby. Coburn, baby, he the man, baby. That's how it works. So this is my thought process is Keandre Coburn gives you an interior defensive lineman, a nose tackle that really helps you solve the run issues that the Saints experienced last year. This guy here is a force. Like I said, he gets up under the pads. He got good power to him as well. Now, some of the things, the thing about Coburn that he needs to kind of work on is conditioning a bit. But if we get good defensive coaches that can work with Coburn, they can help him out with that. But the main things you want him to do is the run stuff. He does that extremely well. Now, if you ask him to push even further into that, he won't get a ton of sacks. Like this season, he had 2.5 sacks from the nose tackle position, but it takes multiple people to block a Keandre Coburn. So I would advocate for the Saints, and that was not a bad pick to land him there at that position to get him in the 4th round. And with those 2 picks, the 1st and the 4th round pick, family, I solved the defensive end position. I give you Thule, who can be a good complement to Cam after they restructure him. And then you have Keandre Coburn, an interior nose tackle that sits next to David Onyemata after you re-sign him, and that gives you a guy pushing forward. Then you just build depth behind him. You have Malcolm, you add Shy come back on the cheap if you want him to. He's a free agent. And of course, I would be advocating for the Saints to get another nose tackle, another 300-pound plus guy. We need these type of players on the defensive side of the ball. I didn't stop there now, family. I went on, and in the 5th round, I picked up Rashad Torrance II. Now, he's a safety for the Florida squad. You know what I'm saying? We were able to get this, and this guy is a good player. You know what I'm saying? I like how he played. You put the footage on of this fella. He plays really well. He's not as fast as you would like, but he's a good tackler, and he don't shy away from making plays. Now, he need a little improvement to his game, but Rashad Torrance II is a very talented young defensive back that we can add to the fray. Now, remember, the Saints, if you look at one of the weakest positions in our secondary, it is the safety position. We don't have any prominent, or I ain't gonna say prominent, or any really interesting drafted guys, a high talent there. Now, we could talk about Smoke Monday and what he could possibly be, but Rashad Torrance II could be a guy that plays with good ferocity. He's intelligent, and he's a guy that can really help us out and build some young talent in the safety room behind guys like Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May. Now, listen, why safety Q? And really, I could have went a little early. I was debating on early on in the draft of getting a safety out of Texas, Anthony. But what was interesting is the fact that I realized that Marcus May could possibly be missing a lot of time. Just besides not having, family, just not having the, him dealing, listen, this the Marcus May thing. He hadn't served any discipline from the league for his DUI situation that happened with the Jets. That's number one. Number two, he just picked up some discipline. Well, he has some alleged issue that happened with a, alleged road rage situation where the people in the car next to him, which was several juveniles, were saying that he brandished a weapon at them. And I remember covering the report on the show. It's like the people was getting behind him, like, oh yeah, you did it. Now I don't know if they had film or whatever else was going on, but that's something that he has to face as well. So it's two incidents of discipline that he could be facing. Not only that, but the fact that he misses games anyway due to injuries. So at some point, you're going to need to have a guy like Rashad Torrance to help out in the safety room. So, and then, and that, in effect, Tyrann Mathieu on the back end of his career made the most sense to me to bring in Rashad Torrance. And he was a good safety that was available at the 5th round. All right, now what else you got there, Q? That's looking pretty good. All right, I'll give you an offensive lineman, family. The first offensive lineman in the draft is Mr. Braden Daniels, okay? Braden Daniels, this is a good offensive lineman, 6'4", 300-pound guy from the University of Utah. Really good player. Now, what makes him interesting is he has the ability to play either guard or tackle for you, so there's some versatility there with him. He's strong. He was in the Senior Bowl. He got some good reviews there as well. Very smart player, very, very heady. Him getting there is a good look. Yeah, KT, I got you on Braden Joseph from Notre Dame. He wasn't available at the time at the 5th round, bro. He went a lot earlier than that, but I know who you're talking about. Thank you for that, bro. All right, so Braden Daniels is a guy. He can do multiple things right here. I really like this kid a lot, and it gives you somebody to have, because we need better offensive lineman depth behind the guys that we have. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of what's the big turnstile guy that we have that just gets pushed around, 6'7", 300-something plus pound, but he a big turnstile. What's his name? I forgot his name. Y'all remind me in the chat. But I'll back up offensive linemen outside of guys like of Landon Young and Landon Young need to improve, no doubt about it. James Hurst is the best we got backing up. He's the first to come in there if somebody have a problem. But Landon Young need to show me something. I know Landon Young could play better than that. I watched him. I scouted him at Kentucky. He's better than what he's showing us. He needs to get that together. And then guys behind him like Lewis Kidd and Throckmorton, that's what I'm thinking about. Thank you, Kevin. Kelvin Throckmorton. We need better reserve linemen than what we got, family. And Braden Daniels will help in that situation. All right, two more guys. We got Ryan Greenhagen, linebacker. So I'll give you guys a linebacker, right? And this guy is very productive out of Fordham. Very productive linebacker that can do some things, got a little speed on him. And I picked up Ryan Greenhagen, and you know, this guy had 4.5 sacks last year. He had 113 tackles, and 63 of them are solo. Now he got good size, about 6'1", 240 is what he weighs, and he gets in there and he makes plays happen. He's not as fast as you would like him to be, but he's a guy that's very heady, that gets in there and make plays. So I'm thinking, you know, keep improving upon the Saints linebacker depth behind them, because we got Demario Davis. We did get a draft pick last year, Jackson, the linebacker. We got him there. We got Caden Ellis, depending on if the Saints resign Caden Ellis. He looks good there. We still have you got Pete Warner. You got Pete's the other guy. You got Warner there. You got Warner there. And listen, if Warner is phenomenal, I love him. But the problem with Warner is his style of play is going to lend him to injury, because he plays a lot more physical than his body can handle, and that's the problem. And that's some of the stuff about some of the greats. It happened the same way with Troy Polamalu and Bob Sanders, if y'all remember those great names from the past. Bob Sanders was a little safety who could play his tail off, but he played more aggressive. Well, his style of play was too physical for his body to deal with, and you see that happening with our linebacker. So at some point, you know, the Saints will have to fortify the linebacker depth behind our young guys, because sooner or later, Demario Davis is going to be gone, and we got to keep that good linebacker core going, and we got to have good depth behind those guys. So Ryan Greenhagen, y'all look him up, man. Really good unknown player from Fordham that can really help out with that. Yeah, yeah, Kevin, they don't show you see these guys, they don't know about what the guys with the with the pictures. You know, I'm reaching deep when you don't see the pictures. And of course, finally, the last pick in my mock, my first official mock, is Jay Ward out of LSU. Don't ask me how, but Jay Ward fell all the way down to the 7th round, and I made him Mr. Irrelevant. That's right. I got Jay Ward from LSU. Don't ask me how he fell that far. Maybe it wasn't my mock, but I was able to get Jay Ward. I think Jay Ward would make a very interesting player for the Saints. He's a guy that can play multiple positions for you. They got him listed as safety. He got some experience as cornerback. He's a 6'2", 186 pounder. We got to see what his 40 time is, because it's showing is 4.49. I love to see what he does in the combine. But like I said, 56 tackles last year and an interception. Jay Ward fell all the way down there. And I get people saying, Q, you didn't get a wide receiver. No, I did not. I'm not going to tell you nothing wrong, family. I didn't get me a wide receiver. I really didn't. I was looking at trying to like build up certain aspects, but I think wide receiver wise, the Saints ain't that bad off. I think we'll do a lot of greatness with our wide receivers in the undrafted rankings. Too bad they don't have a mock undrafted type of situation, because I would add them, like, you know, you do your mock draft and then whatever players didn't get drafted, then you would pick them. And, you know, hopefully get a program like that going where you can be able to do you can get your undrafted guys after the draft, and you pick a certain amount of them, you go with that. Like they let you get 10 of them or 12 or however it goes. But yeah, I was looking at that range of getting undrafted guys. I think the Saints from a wide receiver perspective is good. I think if they need one, they'll go into free agency and see if they can get a compliment. Perhaps we can get Juice to come back for another year, or a compliment for Chris Olave. I don't know. I just didn't see the reason to jump and try to grab at a wide receiver in this mock. So let me do a brief recap of this thing, man, to go over and check this out. And of course, we're going to get KT and get him on there, man. And we're going to talk about more this upcoming week. I'm just setting the tone. We got Thule to start it off, right? Defensive end with the 29th overall pick for the Saints. And he's a defensive end from USC. Why would I go with a defensive end? Like I explained before, you need a compliment to Cam. We do have your boy that was drafted, the second reincarnation of Davenport, and he's doing the same thing, getting hurt, get out there, getting hurt. You can't rely on him, so you definitely need somebody. The Saints, I don't think the Saints will have the big money necessary need to go out to free agency and attract a veteran complement, so their best bet is to more than likely draft a solid defensive end, and that's what I do. I got Thule right here, 6'4", 290. Kid had 13 and a half sacks last year, 13 and a half sacks for USC. Okay, so you watch the footage of this kid. The guy gets at it. He uses a bevy of moves. He's powerful. He's fast, not super fast, and he's intelligent, which means when he's rushing, he's looking, just like Cam does. He's looking to see if guys are trying to get around him. Listen, the tape looks really good for Thule. That's why I made the call to get him and make him the complement to Cam Jordan. And then, of course, you have Turner there, as well as a situational pass rusher. I just let them two battle it out for the starting position. Whoever lose will be the situational pass rusher. And you still got Granderson there. So you're in good shape heading into the future with Thule. The guy is really good, man. And he'll at least push Turner to be better than what he is. All right, so in the second pick that I got, your quarterback of the future, Mr. Hendon Hooker. Straight out of the old school Mississippi Burning movie. I'm just cut it off. But Hendon Hooker is a fantastic player, man. Love this kid. Love what he does. Love everything about him. He's intelligent. He gets a grasp of the system. He's cool. He's confident. He got some stuff that he got to work on. Like at times I've watched games when Hendon Hooker hold on to the ball a little longer than what I want him to do. He got to get that clock in his head. But some of those games, you don't see that. When he got the rhythm, he tearing them up. He got a really beautiful deep ball. He's accurate, short, and intermediate. I like this kid. But like I said, sometimes Hendon holds on to the ball a little longer than what I want him to do. But he's a guy that can take your team and guide you into the next 5 to 10 years of your of the franchise's existence. Tyjae Spears, third round pick that I picked up out of the University of Tulane. Tyjae Spears, we're talking about Alvin Kamara. The Kamara question, will he be available once he serves discipline or sees discipline for whatever happens in the court coming up next month? He might be out a month, maybe a month and a half. You never know. But you got several years remaining on Alvin Kamara's contract. This guy does give you an opportunity to have a future replacement for Alvin Kamara. And if anything, could you imagine having Alvin Kamara and Tyjae Spears on the field at the same time? Hell, you can decoy Kamara. You could put Spears here. Listen, I was hoping to see something look like that when we had Kirk Merritt, but he also has other applications. He catches the ball like a wide receiver. He's lightning quick. So I would love, and he has some power. He's not just the old satellite back. If you watch some of the film, especially the USC films, he shows you that he had power. He was running through the arm tackles and hand tackles of some of these USC defenders. So not a bad move to get Tyjae Spears. Plus, he's a local product out of Ponchatoula. That helps out, and it gives you another skill player to add along with Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave, and it just keeps everything turning for the Saints offense. All right, and this is the guy we got in the fourth round. So I gave you a defensive end in the future in Thule from USC with 13 and a half sacks. I turned to Keandre Coburn, the big nose tackle, to provide run stuffing support for the Saints' interior defensive line next to the likes of a guy like David Onyemata. Now listen, this guy right here, I ain't gonna say he reminds me of Malcolm Brown, even though he comes from Malcolm Brown's university where Malcolm Brown came from. But listen, Coburn, I think Malcolm's a little bit more developed than he is, but Coburn is a straight up nose tackle. And that's what we need him to be, just to occupy two guys. He provides a little push in there as well, and that's something that we want Coburn to do. Now, he did get you 2.5 sacks last year along with 27 tackles, so they'll have to work with him. And he does have some stuff that he got to work in his game, but this guy is strong up front. He's undersized at 6'2". I know that, because most people want him 6'3" and above from the nose tackle position, not me. I think this guy gets under the pads of the taller guards and interior men and centers, and he can be able to kind of hold his own per se like he did in college. So I think this is a positive. So with the first 4 picks, 1, 2, 3, and 4th round picks, I got a starting defensive end for us. I got a starting defensive tackle that can come in next to David Onyemata, or a nose tackle, rather, to keep the things moving. So we improved the defensive line in 4 picks. Then we move to the secondary area, and I get you a good, really defensive back and Rashard Torrance, the second out of the University of Florida. I like this kid a lot. You know, he runs a 4.49 according to some of the reports. Would like to see what he clocking at the combine. But this kid's a talented player, man. I like what he brings as well. He didn't get in any interceptions, but he had 84 tackles last year for Florida. And, you know, we reaching into that Florida pool. Yeah, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We be doing a lot of good stuff reaching to the Florida guys. And I think Rashard Torrance II could help us out in the secondary because, like I've said before, we got an old Tyrann Mathieu on the back end of his career. We got Marcus May that could be facing two discipline situations from the league, and not to mention the fact that injuries do happen, which we see with Marcus May. So you would like to have some type of insurance policy back then. I get you one in the 5th round. Then we move forward and we get you another guy, Braden Daniels here, who's a guy that does two things. They got him listed as a tackle, but he played tackle and guard for the University of Utah. He's strong. He got some things he got to improve upon, but he's a solid player for you, and he'll add some depth to your offensive line, the backups right there. And we need some help, man. We need some help in our backup offensive linemen. And the Saints always like guys that can do multiple things, and he could play guard and tackle for you. He did it at Utah, and he would be a good player for the Saints to have. And of course, you know, that was which one was that? Our 5th round pick, because we had 2 5th round picks. We had Torrance and Braden Daniels, and then the Saints have 2 7th round picks. And this guy is at Ryan Greenhagen, put up 113 tackles with 4.5 sacks for the University of Fordham. He's 6'1", 240, very solid player for you. Can come in and help out. He can play some special teams for you. He can provide good depth for the Saints linebacker core. You know, guys like Demario Davis, they're getting up in age right there, and we would like to keep it going. We also have some injury issues we have to be concerned about as well, and Greenhagen would be a guy that kind of helps out in that field. And then, of course, the final pick of my mock draft is an LSU guy. So I got a Tulane and LSU guy. I wasn't aiming for that, but I just wanted value for what I was drafting. It's Mr. Jay Ward. Now, he can play corner and safety. The guy I'm listed as safety. He does a 4.49. He's 6'2", 186. Good versatility there for him. 56 total tackles and a pick for LSU in the previous season. So I like this. I don't know how Jay Ward falls all the way to the back end of the draft, but hey, it happens. I seen him. I said, yeah, let's make that happen. So I give you some safety help. I give you a guy that could play a little corner and safety, some versatility there as well. So once again, this is the mock draft that I'll do. Number 1 mock. It's a solid mock in my opinion. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Now, these people give me a C- on it because they didn't like my Thule pick, but they don't know they had the QB situation as something. You can see they gave me an F for Hendon Hooker. So you know they don't know what the hell they talking about. So yeah, this is what I got, family, on my mock draft. Anyway, we're going to get to the portion of the show, family, where I'm going to open up the phone lines. There's a link affixed to the chat. Please feel free to hit the link and line up, and I'm going to get the family members in here so they can start chiming in on their thoughts about what the Saints, the moves that are made this past week. I know I did one, what was that, about a week ago when we did one when I opened up the phone lines. So I want to open up the phone lines on our Sunday stream and give family members an opportunity to chime in as well. Y'all see, y'all making a lot of great suggestions out there, man. A lot of great suggestions out there. Luke, Scout without clout says, check out Dwayne McBride, Kevin McIntosh. Yeah, you got a lot of good ones. Mo Ibrahim, yeah. Yep. I don't know if he's declaring or going back to college, but one sleeper linebacker like is DeAndre Square from Kentucky. Surprised not to see his name anywhere. He's good in the SEC. Yep. All right. Yeah, Josh says he likes the draft, except for he considers Hendon Hooker a reach at the 40th pick in the 2nd round. I don't understand why would you consider him a reach, bro? Put that in the chat. Let me know. You know, Hendon Hooker's really without that injury, he's a 1st round draft pick quarterback, bro. I mean, he would go higher than Richardson. You know, Anthony Richardson is depicted as a person that a lot of people are going to reach at in the 1st round. And he's a guy that I don't think he's not nearly as ready as Hendon Hooker is, but the injury, you don't draft him to start. Let me put preference that because I didn't say that. Maybe that's why you feel that way. I didn't draft Hendon Hooker to start for you right away. We know he's rehabbing from an injury. You have a bridge quarterback. I would say, like, you draft Hendon Hooker, keep Jameis Winston where he is, And then eventually, because according to the reports, Hendon Hooker will be available for you for camp. That's what they're saying. Now, the timeline could be kind of moved ahead a little early, depending on how fast he heals. But my pick at Hendon Hooker, and at the 40th pick in the second round, he wouldn't have been available beyond that. I promise you that. By the time the Saints got on the board, the next time to look at Hendon Hooker, he would have been gone. He's not gonna last beyond the second round. And besides, it would have messed up my plan to get Tajay Spears. I wanted that Tajay Spears pick as well. And I was like, Hendon Hooker's a guy that you can bring behind the bridge guy, and then eventually, once he gets healthy, get acclimated, a year into your offense, maybe the second year, you can kind of bring him in and let him see what he can do. That's the look on it. All right. So anyway, with that being said, Jerome says, Big Q, I choose Terrence or Ward. Which one you pick? All right. Of the guys that I picked, man, I like Jay Ward, man. Even though Rashad Torrance is a good player, man, that's a tough one. But I guess I would go with Rashad Torrance. Now I like Jay Ward, man. I can't go against him. You asked me, I got to pick my LSU guys because that's how I feel. But at the end of the day, if you're going talent for talent, man, I guess I would have to. They close, man. But I guess I would put Rashad Torrance over him. I see so much upside with that kid. He's a player. You got to look at his film, man. You put some of these tapes. I know it's just pictures and words and what I'm telling you guys. But if you write these players' names down and you go and look at them, there's film on every last one of these players. And you look at how they play, man. They got some talent out there. You just got to know how to look. Okay, quick recap. Ramczyk, Lattimore, top Saints restructure candidates. One of the articles. Shout out to the Saints Wire. And we also covered the tweet by Michael Thomas, deletes tweet criticizing NFL draft. I mean, not the draft, the medical staff. So that was some good as well to talk about it, man. So good insight there. All right. So anyway, family, we're gonna bring some people in here. If y'all want to pop in, feel free to hit the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Like I said, if you guys want to pop in here and make your presence known. We're gonna be getting people in and out. I'm not trying to let people. Let's be a little bit more disciplined in the show. Let's get people in and out. Let people be able to comment on what they need to comment on and questions or thoughts on things, and we'll keep it up and moving. So I see OG Jerry Poor in the building. My brother Jerry there. I see my brother KT chiming in as well. KT, we're gonna get you in here in a minute, brother. I want you to sprinkle some game on the family members about some of the picks that we was making as well, because I know you got a lot of good people to talk about as well. But yeah, that's some on my first mock, man. That's what I got right there. So, all right, fam. So let me go ahead on, and I think I got it pinned to the chat. Yeah, and I'm gonna put it. There you go again. So when we pop in, go ahead and pop in, and we'll let you know. So anyway, we got we'll start off with that OG. We'll get OG Jerry in the building. OG Jerry, how you doing, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, Big Q. How you doing on this beautiful Sunday, sir?
Jerry, can you hear me, sir?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Okay, I can't hear Jerry. I can't hear him, fam. Can y'all hear OG Jerry?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
All right. Put one in the chat if y'all can hear that OG, man. No, I can't hear him. He just popped up. All right, so anyway, fam, like I said, man, we got the link into the chat. Joe won't pop in. We'll pop in. We got KT in the building. KT, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
All right, KT in there. How you doing, sir? Let me bring you in there. And so you can get the game, bro. Let me pop you in there, brother. Give me a second here. Let me get you in there.
All right.
Hold on, KT. Let me get you in there, sir.
All right.
Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear him, man. Remember, I'm trying this new equipment, man, and trying to make sure everything is lined up the way it's supposed to be. You hear me, baby? All right, so let's get KT in here. KT, let me get in here, brother. All right. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on, KT. Give me a second, bro.
All right, good.
Screen, bro. There you go. Yeah. All right, KT, go ahead, bro. How you doing?
I was good until I saw you took Tulia in the first round. Dude only has a spin move, Q. He's not an edge guy. They got him converting to D tackle at the next level. He's an effort guy, but like I said, I would say Will McDonald the fourth. I would take, I like Isaiah Foskey. Now I got to give you credit, Q. Gone.
Yeah, Will
You can hear
McDonald.
me?
He's a bit undersized, though, don't you think?
That's why you have the weight staff. They can bulk them up. Now, this is the question I really had. You said we were straight at our wide receiver. You know we still got Traquan Smith, right?
I said, bro, why you bringing up
You know we still
Bro, when I talk about the wide receiver,
Traquan need to go, Andrews Pete need to go, Michael Thompson. I still say we need to get a big body possession receiver. Look at Justin Shorter from Florida and look at Justin Shorter from Florida, and they look at the other wide receiver from Stanford, Michael Wilson, and the one you put me on.
All right, so you like Will Anderson?
I like I really like Isaiah Foskey and Will Anderson.
Yeah.
Isaiah Foskey is who I like. If he's there, take him.
BJ Ojolari, man.
But
BJ Ojolari was a guy I like, man. But like I said, some of these guys, man, I like their size, but these guys right now, you bulking them up 40 pounds, 40, and some of them are really light in their ass, man. 230 and 235 and bulking them up, bro. In one season to be a situational, to be a starting level pass rusher. I got Thule there because Thule's size is there. He got a lot of positive. Remember, it's basically a second round pick, KT.
Dude, Thule.
I like him.
Thule is another D tackle to me. He gives you Thule to me is basically Haoli Kikaha 2.0.
No, he ain't. Cut that.
And we know. Now, I like the dude from Fordham. That was the next draft gem I was going to say to keep an eye out for. He a dog. The dude from Fordham you drafted, the linebacker.
Yeah.
Rashad Torrance, that's a nice pick. The guard from Utah, he's dope. He's dope. But I was like, okay, we might be able to snag something at wide receiver because Traquan needs to go. I believe Mike Thomas is going to go. And I had this discussion with somebody else in the chat. They're promoting all the little small, fast guys, but like we went over on our last show, it's a deep draft for physical possession receivers. So we still can get one. But it's still the first mock draft. A lot can change. And, hey, we'll do another show. But I had to come in on Thule. That's your hill you're going to die on, huh, Q? Thule.
I like Thule, bro. I put the tape on about Thule. The thing I like, the other guys you mentioned, I just think they're I think the other guys you got, KT, they're good, but I don't think they're going to fit what we trying to do. Like guys like Anderson and these are talented players, man. But at the end of the day, I think they're a little too light, man. Too light, and we need help right away.
Q. Foskey is 260, my boy.
50 pounds on them, bro. Now, Foskey.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Foskey,
I said Foskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but safety, I like Rashad Torrance. He was the guy I couldn't remember. And Brandon Joseph was the other guy from Notre Dame. Brandon Joseph is like him and Jay Ward are both clones of each other. Jay Ward is more of a hitter. Joseph is more of a ball hawk, but they're the same height, about 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds. So that's still good value right there. But I was just chiming in. I'll holler at you when we do the draft show, Q.
Well, shout out to you, KT. I appreciate you chiming in, bro. Much love to you, brother. And I'm glad you like most of my picks anyway, bro. So, well, you ain't going to make everybody happy. You know how that go, family. It's all good. All right, so let's get ready to move on here. We got who we got next right here? Okay, we got Brother Prime chiming in. Prime, how you doing, sir? Welcome on in the show, my friend. How you doing today?
I'm doing beautiful. I made it into the 60 club on Thursday, bro. I made
Go
60
ahead,
years
bro.
old.
Congratulations to you, my friend.
Well, I know y'all focusing on the draft, but there's some things I want to reiterate about our quarterback position. Number one, Carr is too expensive. Lamar is going to be too expensive. We really can't afford right now to spend shitloads of money on free agents because all we basically in cap hell. I know you're gonna work their magic, but you can't keep on kicking the bucket down the road. You can't keep doing it. At some point, you have to stop. You have to stop doing that. You're a businessman, Q. You know you can put some things on hold, but at some point you're gonna have to pay for them. Correct?
Yes, sir. You're right.
So you need to stop. You need to stop doing it. As far as Jameis is concerned, I can relate to what Jameis is going through with how it's perceived with his company. I would like to see him stay, but if he let him go, because I'm gonna tell you right now. I know people talking about Hendon Hooker, the young brother quarterback. Who's gonna be a quarterback coach? And why would you worry about getting a quarterback that throws the ball deep when you have a coach, when you have a substitute coach, there's a good defensive coordinator, and he likes to dink and dunk, 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of offense. So what? Why you worry about trying to get somebody that can throw the deep ball? Why worry about having all these small speed receivers that can go deep and get the ball? Like the last brother said, right now, if you look at the way that the Saints offense is set up now and the coach that we have, possession receivers are perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can hit them, 10, 15 yards off and at least move the chains on a consistent basis. But all these high-priced quarterbacks, and we don't have the money for that, people. Well, not us, but the Saints organization have no money for that. So they're going to have to probably get a lot of dollar value and dollar store and good value people this next year or these next 2 years in order to have a decent future. Because let me tell you right now, it's all on him. And I don't know if I said this the last time I talked to the fam Q, but when Peyton suggested Allen to be the coach, he knew what he was doing. He wanted to keep all his people in one place. So when he decided to come back, he wouldn't have a hard time getting them away from all these different other teams. Just think about that. Number two, now if we don't get if Carr doesn't come, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not impressed with Carr. Carr's not. Everybody, all these quarterback people talking about are not way better than Jameis. If Carr turns the Saints down, what does that say about Allen if it's not a money situation and that Allen was the one that drafted him? That's very interesting. Number three, when it comes to Mike Thomas and what he said, he don't pissed off he don't burn some bridges. You know they want him going on because like you said last year, Jameis called out Allen and certain people who are weak, who can't deal with people that work under them having strong opinions, they do their best to get rid of them. And I can relate to that. Now, and that's all I'm going to say. I can relate to that big time. I really can. When you working under people that they just want a bunch of yes sir, boss, yeah, those kind of people, they're not gonna. That's not good. That's not good. It's not good at all. It's not good at all. So stop going after these expensive quarterbacks. And I'm gonna tell you right now. Um, the next person he was talking about getting the Saints the quarterback is what's that boy name that was with Carolina with Cleveland?
What, Deshaun Watson?
No, the quarterback.
Who just trying to get
Baker Mayfield. Bruh, when I heard them talking about Baker Mayfield being connected to the Saints, I'm like, oh, come on. Really? Baker Mayfield? So people,
like
the team, huh? I'm like, bro, come on. This, I don't know. It's like everybody, it's like monkeys in a zoo and just throwing stuff on the wall to see what sticks for the Saints. Come on, stop it.
Well, Brother Prime, you got to understand, man. I'm not expecting much from the Dennis Allen administration. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not. He hadn't showed us much. I mean, last year the offseason wasn't a bad offseason. The draft wasn't a bad draft. But the problem is, like, you can get these guys and get them on the team, but what could Dennis Allen do? Could Dennis Allen make it all work? He never made it work. When he was with Oakland, it didn't work. Last year, it didn't work. And when you bring in a new quarterback, that's a whole new thing. Now, Carr gets the ball down the field. So, like he was talking about the cloud of dust football, like we've been doing 10, 15 yards in, like we had for several years with Drew. This guy, his best asset is throwing the ball deep. Now, money. Will they do what they got to do? Bro, they were willing to give Carr that money. The 30-something, it's not 40 million. It's like 30, what is it? 33 or something like that this year, the contract. And then next year it goes 40 and then 40 again the year after that. So the Saints were willing to absorb his contract. They were willing to give third-round compensation to the Raiders. They were the only team now that were interested in a trade for him. And he rebuffed them, which I was like, okay, you're going to get your money and all this kind of stuff. So that was weird how that worked. But at the end of the day, what could you expect? This is Dennis Allen, bro. Dennis Allen, what'd you expect from him? I don't expect much.
Man, look, I'm going to tell you, Q and fam, I'm going to tell you right now, this man is a joke. He is a joke, because that'd be 2 years in a row now. You was willing to throw your pocketbook, your bank, at two quarterbacks and post up from turn two. That lets you know. Then it says a lot about the organization, and it says a lot about the coach.
Yep.
It really, really does. And people forget the only reason why your boy, the wide receiver we picked up last year from LSU. What's that young brother name is again?
The one we got from LSU?
Yeah, the wide receiver we got from LSU, that played for LSU, that came from somewhere else.
Oh, you talking about Jarvis?
Yeah, Jarvis. The reason why Jarvis came here was because of Jameis.
Yeah.
Man, do you really? I don't think they're gonna do that for the brother. Do you really think they're gonna get on one knee and pucker up to Jameis?
No,
I don't think so.
No, hell no.
They ain't gonna do that.
If he was interested in Jameis Winston, Dennis Allen would have played him in that Carolina game. I mean, he'd at least played him, see what he got. I'm like, why even do that? Why, you know what you got in Andy Dalton. See if Jameis is healthy, see what he can give you. Nope. Then the first move you get is to go out and you try to trade for Carr off the bat. That lets you know, that put the stink in it. So it could be a situation. It could be a situation, bro, where, man, the Saints could miss out on both. You know, they could miss out on Carr just like they missed out on Watson. This could happen.
They will. I predict that they will miss out on him or any other dream quarterback that people. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Saints settle for Baker Mayfield,
that was just a report. That was a report, brother Prime. I don't think it's. That was just, and even if they were looking at him, to bring him in to talk to him, that's not an upgrade over Jameis in my book. I think Baker Mayfield is not an upgrade over what you got here. That won't work. That don't work for the Whodats.
Well, you see, Q, man, I'm telling you, the moves that's going on right now that they're trying to do, and they're trying to be merciful. They might as well let Cameron Jordan go somewhere else and get a Super Bowl ring. They might as well let Mario Davis go somewhere else. Let some of these old veterans go somewhere else and get them a ring. Because it's not going to happen here. The Saints not going to a Super Bowl if we go to another Super Bowl anytime soon. Because I'm praying and hoping. Now, you see, now since he's getting everybody that he wants on his staff that used to work with him in Oakland, what do they call it? When you try the same thing over and over again, they call it insanity. So
some people call it practice.
But look, I'm telling you, I predict that we're not gonna win no more than 5 or 6 games next year. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if we go 3-1, I think it's time for them to get rid of him in the midseason. But that's not gonna happen. They're gonna stick with him. And you should know something. Ever since Peyton left, and ever since Breeze left, they've been doing a lot of questionable, suspect things. We don't know how much money that Allen is making. We don't know that. And you was talking about some other kind of money situation we don't know about. They're not even saying. Oh, the thing about they haven't even had their press conferences to introduce the new coaches.
I'll just say, yeah, I don't understand what that's about.
George, you know something? I just have this feeling. You remember Georgia Frontiere?
Yeah, that's the coach of the St. Louis Rams, wasn't it?
That used to be the female owner of the St. Louis Rams when her husband died. When her husband died, I have this sinking feeling that Mrs. Benson is going down that same road. She there's no alphas. There's a bunch of betas and gammas on that team right now.
Yeah,
no strong figure.
But you only need one alpha, and that's what Sean Payton was. Sean Payton told them all what to do, and you just need one alpha. And they got other alphas out there in the coaching ranks. The Saints just have to get through what we're going through, and I think Dennis Allen is going to take care of himself. He's going to take care of himself. So they don't need. I just wanted him out of here because I didn't want to watch another year of subpar football.
Well, we're going to be watching another year. They're going to run Jameis off. We're going to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We're going to have Andy Dalton as our starter and probably Baker Mayfield as our backup. I'm telling you, bro, it's not looking good. And I don't have a lot of confidence in Miss Benson and Mickey Loomis and all them. I really don't, because they make some mistakes. And I'm going to tell you right now, our last 2 defensive linemen that we got, Davenport and Turner, that's on Peyton. Because if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Q, didn't Peyton give up like multiple picks for both of them young bloods and either one of them has panned out?
If I remember correctly, I think he gave up extra pick to move up for the Davenport pick, but I think it was with Green Bay. Didn't he give up extra picks to move up with that?
Yeah, I think so. But I think he did something similar with both of them. It was
I don't remember with Peyton Turner. I don't remember with the Peyton Turner, man. It all become a wash at a point, with the picks. But some of the Great Saint Think Tank chiming here let us know. But I remember the Davenport situation because they gave up a first rounder to move up, and I thought they were doing that to get Lamar Jackson. And then Peyton pulled the trigger on unknown defensive end out of the University of Texas at San Antonio.
Yeah, you see, that's another reason why Peyton brought us a Super Bowl. We had an exciting team for 15, 60 years, but as a fan since 1970, to only have 1 Super Bowl ring, and you had Drew at his prime for 10 years, and you only got 1 ring, and you waited so long to develop your defense, and the last couple of picks haven't worked out that good. A lot of this got to fall on his lap too. It really has to fall on Peyton's lap. You got to take the good with the bad. And I'm going to say 3 more things, and I'm going to go Q. Number 1, we have to stop drafting people out of position as projects and playing them in positions we think they can play in. No, that's like you going by a Yugo. You remember Yugo?
Yes.
You remember the Yugo? That's like you going by a Yugo automobile and say, "Oh, I'm gonna turn this into a Maserati. Oh, I'm gonna turn it into God, what a fancy a Lamborghini." Come on, they do what they do. And next 2 things I wanted to say is your boy Curtis Johnson, that used to be the wide receiver coach. I found out last night he's a coach in XFL. Good for that brother that he got a job, and they're still messing over Bellamy. But you see, I know people upset about the Bellamy situation, but look at it this way. I try to look at it from an intelligent view instead of with my emotions, taking my emotions out of it. Let's say Bellamy goes to Washington, and Washington offense really excels, then there's no excuse to saying that the only reason he was good as an offensive coordinator was because of Andy Reid. So I want the brother to do real good, have like a top 10 offense this year with the Washington Redskins, so he could get him a head coaching job next year. And then if you don't get a head coaching job next year, man, the NFL is showing you what they really are.
Yeah, well, that was a smart move by Eric Bieniemy to leave from under the Chiefs, bro. Because to be honest with you, Eric Bieniemy leaving the Chiefs and going over there with Riviera, Ron Riviera in Washington was a good move because, like you said, he wasn't going to get anything unless he got from up under Andy Reid, because the overwhelming consensus is that Andy Reid is, somewhere in dealing with that. And it's Bieniemy, and Andy Reid tried to dispel those. He tried to say, hey, man, listen, no, Eric Bieniemy is this good. People don't want to listen. I credit Eric to Andy Reid. He always has been saying that about Bieniemy, but Bieniemy had to separate himself from the Chiefs organization. And if he can get that offense and Washington going, then that should help him out. And then another caveat to that, Brother Prime, is the fact that he's an assistant head coach there. So he's not only the OC, but if something happens to Turner, Ron Riviera, if something happened to Riverboat Ron, then he would be more likely the next to take over the job. So, we'll see, man. So at the end of the day, but yeah, the two teams, which was the Colts and the Cardinals, picking the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, I was like, what? What are you doing here? And then they go back and do the same stuff they've been doing, because it's a big gamble taking some of these guys this late in the cycle, because you got to go and find it's a big problem. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It ain't my damn team. So at the end of the day, we'll see. All right. So Brother Prime,
I want to say this one more thing. Wouldn't it be funny if one or two things happen? That car is signed by Carolina, a car is signed by Tampa Bay, or Winston goes to Carolina. What you think about that? Wouldn't that be something?
It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility, man. I've been hearing the rumors is that, when the Saints get rid of Jameis, one of the spots he might end up is Tampa Bay. They was trying to get him to go back before he signed with him that time, and he was being patient, trying to be in New Orleans because that was the team he grew up on. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, Dennis Allen really is putting his foot in it, man, and and we'll see how it all pans out, bro. But it ain't looking good, man. We'll see. They running behind these quarterbacks, man.
And it would serve Allen right if Jameis does go back to Tampa Bay and be our behind twice. I would laugh my butt off.
It's possible. They put him in the street, man. I don't think he goes far. He can definitely end up going to Tampa, man. That's not a far-going conclusion. All right, so anyway, with that, Prime, thank you, bro, for chiming in. Much love to you, my brother. I'm going to see you on the flip side, bro. Peace.
Peace, everybody. Love.
All right, there go, Brother Prime. Happy belated birthday to you, my brother. Thank you for chiming in. All right, let's get that OG on the line. OG, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
OG, are you with me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my brother. Thank you for waiting patiently. Welcome to the stream, bro.
Likewise, Big Q. How are you on this beautiful Sunday as we speak, my brother?
Good, bro. Good, man. I'm doing all right, brother. I'm chilling. I'm talking to the family members. And everybody kind of expressing itself. It's easy going, OG Jerry. It's just, that's one of those days, my brother. I like it like that, bro. Easy going day, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I got tickled earlier because Mac Prime was on there. I said, bro, get on the phone. Everybody else trying to get on, but I said, I love Mac Prime. If you're listening, I love you, brother. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, OG, it was his birthday, bro. You gotta give him a few extra minutes, bro. It was his birthday.
I know, but I understand. But it shouts out to everybody in the chat. I hope y'all Sunday is going well as mine. But I wanted to speak on that about the quarterback talk that he was just saying. I say the first thing when I heard about Baker Mayfield, I'm like, my thought was Big Q is like this. In the words of Fred Sanford, Are you crazy? Seriously? Who in the world? Who in the world want to see Baker Mayfield in a Saints uniform? Help me out, Chad. I mean, who wants to see that? Look, I can sum it up for you. Nobody. But one thing did touch on something right there, Big Q. If it was me, and if I was the coach for the New Orleans Saints, I would not go out to see if Derek Carr was going to be our next quarterback or Lamar Jackson was going to be our next quarterback. If it was me as a coach, I would keep Jameis Winston and give him another go for next season. Because,
right.
I mean, because last year I just hated what they did to him, man. You're going to put Andy Dalton in to take over the rest of the season. I'm like, dog, y'all did Jameis wrong, bruh. Now, if that was me, I would say, go, Jameis, we're going to give it another go. Forget these quarterbacks. You're going to be our QB1 again, whether they like it or they don't. And that's what I speak on that. Now, another topic I wanted to talk about, we did mention about the Alvin Kamara situation. If it was me, Q, I would either draft a running back or sign a running back, because I was telling somebody, ain't no telling how many games Kamara going to get suspended from this incident in Vegas. Right. So I mean, if it was me, I would act real fast and focus on getting a running back, because I'm looking at some running backs like Spears from Tulane and Robinson from Texas. That's what I'm looking at in the draft, if that happens, because we do need another running back, in case if something happened with Kamara. Because ain't no telling, it might be 6 games, it might be 7 games, might be a year long. We don't know yet, because this thing is like in a couple of weeks. So, I mean, we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, that March, OG, man, it's not looking good though, bro, for the with the Alvin Kamara situation, man. His discipline. I don't know what his legal philosophy is. That's what I was asking the family members the other day. What's Kamara's legal philosophy? Why don't he just settle with the guy? The videotape is damaged. It's damning. Yeah. What could you do with that? The guy was trying to run away and you stumping, you grabbing him, chasing after him. And, and you can't even use the defense. Well, I was fearing for my life. Oh, you was fearing for your life? Then why'd you run after him and commence to stumping on him again?
Hello.
So I don't know what the defense on there. But like I said, he was just a pigeon. He was a sucker. He was a big old sucker that day. He shouldn't have been over there at that time. And no matter how many times you tell them, they do the same thing thinking it won't happen to them, and then it happened to them. You can't do that. If you're going to do that, you got to be smart about it. Where the bodyguards at. Maybe the bodyguards could have separated the guy from you. You didn't have to put a hand on him. You can't be operating like that out of there, or at least ignore the guy. Don't commence the whipping on him. You should have knew what time it was when he started insulting him in front of the lady. He started insulting you in front of the lady. Man, you should have knew what time it was right then. What time it is.
Didn't the Q?
Yes, sir.
That happened in the elevator.
It was right outside the elevator, and then Elvin and his party got in the elevator, and then the guy tried to get in the elevator with them, and then, one of the guys pushed the guy out, and he just smashed their hand off, and then that's when the big brouhaha started to happen. And then that guy you remember the pictures? I think I showed some of the pictures at the time when it happened. That guy was on a stretcher with his thumb up, like smiling. His face is all bloodied, but he got a thumb up on a stretcher. I'm like, look at this dude. No, he got himself a payday. Who does that at 5:00 in the morning? Look to get into a hassle with somebody. So they knew who it was. The guy just got him, bro. He got him. Just pay the man and get it over with.
Exactly. That's what I say. Just pay the dude and just get it over with. But we already know what happens in the NFL world. We already know how this goes. And like your boy Sway say, it's either the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. And Lord knows it's Roger Goodell.
You're right, OG.
But that's why you hear me say in the chat, F Goodell or F Screwdale. Forget that dude. Because every time you turn around, even like right now, we're in the off season right now. Something might happen to one of our state players, and next thing you know, they might get on television and say they did something wrong. And Gooden, that's why I always say there will never be no festivities in New Orleans, especially the NFL draft, because everybody knows what happened years ago. So it's a good reason why they haven't booked it yet. Now they'll book a Super Bowl, but they won't book no NFL draft. I can tell you that from the get-go. Yeah, that part right there.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, man. Next month, and like you said, bro, you throw out some good running backs right there. The Saints have opportunity to get at either one of them if they want, OG, if not both of them if they see fit. But the game plan with Dennis Allen over the top of the team, man, and which direction do they go? And like I said, offseason last year wasn't bad. It's just like translating, and taking the talent that you have on the team from the offseason into the end season. That's Dennis Allen's job. And I just don't see him as competent enough unless he becomes a total different coach than what we've known him to ever be. All I've ever seen this guy do at a head coaching level is lose. Even though he won more games than he ever did before, is because the team was not really a bad team. It was actually a playoff team you had. He's just an idiot. He destroyed the team. He destroyed the quarterback position. He destroyed it.
BQ, why you think some of the family members in the chat called Dennis Allen dumbass?
Yeah, that's even some of the reporters are making fun of him, man, because this stuff ain't hard, man. If you got to start, it's not hard, bro. I mean, what it is with him is he does a lot of petty extra stuff that doesn't really need to be, don't really need to be done. And then when he does this stuff, he don't apologize for it, and you can't do that. Because when people see you out there like that, if you do something wrong, you got to at least acknowledge the fact that you did something wrong and at least give them some respect by apologizing. If you don't respect nobody, if you out here screwing up and not correcting and making dumb excuses like you just had a bad day at the office and all this kind of rhetoric, you get up there and you give these bad performances, you don't apologize for what you're doing, then nobody gonna take you seriously. Nobody gonna value what you got going on, man. If you especially when you're dealing with the Saints and you coming off of a successful stuff, even when the Saints didn't make the playoffs, they were still 9-7. We didn't make the playoffs, but we still finished the plus. It wasn't really hitting on nothing. It's either playoff or bust in New Orleans buildings, but at least you got 9 wins. That's better than being 7-9 or 7-10.
Yeah,
but still in all, you a 7-10 football team, and you got this guy traipsing out here every night. I just don't think that he becomes this person, and I think eventually his time runs out next year when he can't seem to get the team winning again. So you'll have all these other variables, and it'll be a lot more difficult for him to win this year because he's getting all these new coaches coming in, OG. They got to learn how the game go, man. They got to learn how they got to learn the players, and that just sets that back a little bit. And can he progress forward and get it together? I don't know. He might learn a little bit at the end of the day, but the things that he doesn't know is what's killing the team. You can't alienate the quarterback position, and you got to make real-time adjustments on the fly. You can't wait quarters of the game to make adjustments. You can't wait the game over the next game to tell the coach you should have did this, and this type of stuff. If you can't motivate players and you're not a motivating person, then bring in motivators to motivate the team for you. You might have to pay a little bit, but you're going to have to do it. That's what Coach Payton did. You'll see Avery Johnson in there. You bring all these other players. But that's how he kept his message fresh. Get motivated. Whatever you're weak at, get guys that are strong there and go in there and help you out with that. But he doesn't even do that. He don't do none of that.
That's right. And like you were saying, Q, get somebody that can get pump, get the crowd, get the team pumped and the crowd pumped and all that. And that's another thing, and I'm glad you touched on it, Q. I know somebody else is online, but I'm gonna say this right here. Everybody in the chat, Who Dat Nation in the chat, if y'all been following me, what I've been saying in the chat or on the panel about those stupid, depressing press conferences that Dennis Allen had. If y'all been paying attention, I've been saying I've been tired of hearing the same stuff over and over and over again. I'm tired, dude. I was tired of Dennis Allen with the same old stuff every week, whether the Saints win or lose. I'm tired of hearing we got a lot of things to clean up. We got a lot of things to clean up. I'm like, what? Okay, clean them up. And you don't keep saying the same thing every week. We got a lot of things to clean up. Okay, clean up. Don't wait. And Q, and I know everybody is fed up with it as much as I was. Bruh, dude, we got to get better than this. We got to get better than this, bruh. And Big Sean, that's my Bitmoji character, brother. That's a cartoon version of me. That is not Dak Prescott. Thank you very much.
Yeah, OG, I agree with you, bro. You saying it. OG said he tired of hearing him every week. Said we got stuff to clean up, but help me clean up.
Clean up. Don't wait. I mean, dude, why do you want to bring back Pete Carmichael? Why? And shouts out to my guy Dog 17 that's in the chat. Shouts out to you, Dog 17. I hope you're doing well, brother. If some of y'all heard me did a rant on the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast, if some of y'all heard it and some of y'all haven't, I highly recommend y'all go to that channel and check it out for yourself. I was fed up. I was like a fireball over there, Big Q.
All fired up, OG.
I was fired up. But going forward, let's just see what the Saints gonna do. With these next like 3 or 4 weeks. I know we got the combine coming up pretty soon, so let's see, and the pro day going up, and so let's see what happens.
Yeah, right on to you, OG, man. Once again, bro, appreciate you always for chiming in, my brother, and dropping that science, man. Thank you for your support, OG, and yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting, bro. This whole off season, so we just got to keep it moving, bro, and see what happens, man. But yes, indeed.
And some of them called Dennis Allen Captain Cleanup. I think TJ Jones called him Captain Cleanup.
Yeah, you got to clean up. He ain't cleaning up nothing, though, man. He keep talking, but he a lazy janitor. He ain't cleaning up nothing, man. He ain't clean.
He do your job.
Yeah, Dennis Allen, the kind of janitor that mops with a sour mop. That's what kind of dude that is. He ain't gonna clean up nothing, man. That's just rhetoric he says every week to keep the press off of him. He says the same thing every damn loss. Same thing. It all falls on the head coach. It's all about him making the adjustments, even if that means finding the right person for the job. I mean, how do you justify bringing these men back when they wasn't successful? But like I said, it's a load of malarkey, and they can't justify it. Okay, we lost OG. All right. So anyway, with that being said, fam, y'all please feel free to hit up the stream if you want to pop back in on the show. Much love to the fam. Please feel free to pop in. We'll get it going. The link is in the chat. And we'll keep it going, moving forward into the show. And yeah, we had some interesting calls right there, man, to be honest with you. But we'll see. All right, we got Brother Ricky Jackson chiming in. Brother Jackson chiming in. Ricky, can you hear me?
Q.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Q.
Yes, sir. Oh, hold on here. Can you hear me, Ricky?
Yeah, Q. How you doing, brother?
Good, my friend. How you doing, bro?
Who that to you, baby?
Who that, bro? How you been? You been all right, my man?
Man, everything's been well, man. Good. Out here in Atlanta, Georgia, living life.
Okay, good to hear. Bro. What's on your mind today, bro?
Man, 2 things. We got to fire line-ass Dennis Allen. That's how I always address him in the chat. Line-ass Dennis Allen. Hashtag fired line-ass Dennis Allen. That's how I always refer to him.
Yeah,
And,
yep.
and two, the Saints as an organization, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, they have completely disrespected the entire Who Dat Nation by bringing Dennis Allen back. You know, the city, the fan base, everybody asked, why can't Jameis Winston start after the bye week? I understand that you want to let your coaches coach, but as an organization, you see the ship going down. You have to step in somewhere. And so I never understood why Mickey Loomis didn't get involved in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I felt like saying that myself, bro. I was looking at it, I'm like, man, how did Mickey Loomis not fix this situation? The whole Jameis thing. See, that falls on. We can blame Dennis Allen. Yeah, and a lot of it is his fault, bro, because he's the head coach of the team. When you want to be the man, everything fall on you. But Mickey Loomis is Dennis Allen's boss, supposed to be.
Exactly.
And he allowed that whole Jameis situation to go to hell. If he would have checked that situation when it first happened and brought both those guys into his office and made them work that out, then we wouldn't be dealing with that right now. We wouldn't be trying to find whatever this is what we're doing right now. We would have done a lot better than 7-10. I promise you that much. We'd have done a lot better than
I have
that.
no doubt. I have absolutely no doubt. The man, no one said anything when Drew Brees attempted to play with 16 broken ribs, even though he only has 12. But nobody said anything when Drew Brees tried to play with those ribs. This is what they said, though. Drew wanted to leave it all on the field. He wanted to show that he's a competitor. He wanted to show that he can compete. Kudos to Drew Brees, thumbs up. But when Jameis did it, he played awful. He did this and that. And in the Tampa game, I was thinking, I was watching that game. There was a couple of first downs he could have picked up with his legs. I said, no, he don't want to run because of what Devin White did to him last year. The year before.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got to the Carolina game and he didn't pick up a couple of first downs, I was like, man, something is wrong with this guy. Something is obviously wrong with it, because there was like 4 or 5 first downs he could have picked up with his legs. And the first down was there for him to get it, just run and go get it, like he did the previous year. If you remember the year where he went 5-2, he was picking up first downs right and left with his legs. But after that, Dennis Allen decided he took the one opportunity he could to get rid of Jameis. He never wanted Jameis Winston. And
yep.
I got to tell you, Jameis Winston has to have the worst representation of all time.
What you mean, bro? You talking about his agent?
His agents, his attorneys, everybody got it. He should have filed a grievance. I know Jameis want to be this nice guy and everything, but sometimes you got to let the niceness go and come out and defend yourself. His agent should have took it to social media. Somebody should have did something. You can't let this dude just completely lie on you and attempt to ruin your career. Why couldn't he let Jameis play the last four games of the season, knowing that he don't want him next year? At least let him go out and make a case for himself to start for another team with the last 4 games.
Yeah, brother Ricky. Man, that's the last 4 games, man. He was off that injury list, and he was healthy. And you can't use the excuse that he was healthy. And really, this just shows the mindset of Dennis Allen. Believed that the best chance to win, in his mind, was to go with Andy Dalton. Believe that or not, That's what he believed. He believed.
Hey, he said it. He said it at the end of the year press conference.
Yeah, that Andy Dalton gave him the best, that he thought the best chance to win.
The guy asked him in the press room, what was the observation on Jameis Winston? Well, it was injury in the beginning, but I thought that Andy Dalton just gave us the best chance to win, although he only won 6 games.
I don't, and listen, bro, I think Jameis Winston is better than Andy Dalton. That's just me.
I think Jameis Winston is better than a lot of guys that have listed, as they top quarterbacks in the league.
But the guy
just never really got that fair shake.
Not under Dennis Allen.
He just never got it.
Not under Dennis Allen, he didn't. I mean,
no. Really, what black quarterback has? Terrell Pryor didn't. Jason Campbell didn't. But he go get I can't even think of the white quarterback that he wanted put all his stock behind, and they got blown out that season.
I think Dennis Allen, don't know. It's just a guy that don't know. He's a guy that makes repetitively bad calls on stuff like that, like picking a quarterback. He's a defensive guy. You always go with the best quarterback on the Saints roster last year was Jameis Winston. And people like to look at him and say, "It's Q. Last year he did this. His statistics was this." They don't account for the circumstances around the statistics. Like the stats was he threw this many touchdowns versus this many interceptions, but they don't account for the fact that the man was busted up when he was doing it, which led to him being benched, and then eventually he was supposed to get his job back on the backside. Dennis Allen,
right?
And then the real key fact that really sealed the deal was Jameis tried to force his way back into the starting lineup. He did. When he went to the press, that's what the move was, the press move. And I was saying, I say, you don't go to think about it. You don't go to the press, because he didn't go to the press since he been here in terms of telling them about what's going on with the team. He went there and told them that Dennis Allen lied to him, that he deceived me. He told me that I was going to be the starting quarterback when I came back. And then I come back and then he keeps Andy Dalton ahead of me the whole time, not even the final game of the season. So Dennis Allen knows that you're not supposed to take a guy's not supposed to lose his job due to injury. Dennis Allen knows that. He knows that. But he don't give a damn. He don't care. So Jameis's opportunity, because Mickey Loomis wasn't listening. He could have went over his head. And I damn sure think he went and had a conversation with Mickey Loomis about it. I promise you he did. He going to go to Mickey before he goes to the press. I promise you that. And if he didn't do that, something wrong.
Yeah, you know what? You may be right. I think he did go to Mickey, and Mickey shut him down too.
Yeah.
And when Mickey shut him down, that's when what's those two guys I like? That's when they questioned him in the locker room, and he told them what was on his mind. Hey, Q, listen, I sent you a couple of super chats over the course of the season, right?
Yes.
And one of them was like, those 3 games that we won, the NFL got involved. I truly believe that, because they didn't want the Philadelphia Eagles to have a top 5 pick. And I said that before they went on a 3-game winning streak. And in the end, look at what happened. Philadelphia made it to the Super Bowl, and they lost the top 5 pick because the Saints somehow won those 3 games. The Atlanta game, the Philadelphia game, and that was the 3rd game that they won in there. That looked kind of suspicious to me.
Yeah.
But the Cleveland game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Cleveland game. So I was like, yeah, these 3 losses don't look up to par to me. But I did put in a super chat in the Cleveland game that the Saints will win enough games to knock the Philadelphia Eagles out of a top 5 pick. And they're picking 10 this year.
Yeah. It's all kind of stuff revolving around that, man. A lot of people starting to, I know it was a lot of that was trending during the championship championship game week prior to the Super Bowl. A lot of people were like, yeah, and the truth be told, and a lot of trolls gonna say, nah, it's not. And they try to ridicule them, make fun of people who think that a manipulation going on. Anytime you got Vegas involved with the games and betting on the games by what percentage
absolutely.
of points going on, then if they can give you a line on the game, then give me your line on the game means that they can manipulate the game within the line, or where they can make money, man. So I mean, if it's tied to Vegas, that's the mob, man. And majority,
Listen,
and a lot of the owners of the league have mob ties. So for people that think like that, man, they ain't woke. Them people still stuck sleeping in the matrix, man. Let them sleep, man.
Hey, Q, listen. I told people a long time ago when Paul Tagliabue was commissioner, nobody said nothing about gambling in the league ever. Players couldn't even go to Vegas.
That's right.
On a bye week when Paul Tagliabue was commissioner. Players couldn't even go to Vegas. Now we got a team in Vegas.
Yep. Now,
if you go to the stadium, what you see at center field, DraftKings and that other betting site, now they promoting gambling.
Yeah. Yep. I'm part Italian, so a lot of the stuff that I like a lot of old mobster films. I don't like it, not because of the violence, but how I like to learn how the mob did what they did, how they became powerful and organized. That's what I watch for. And a lot of the mobster movies and some of the documentaries will kind of give you game.
As a matter of fact, look at the movie The Mobsters. Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite. Godfather 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I could tolerate 3, but Godfather 1 and 2
mm-hmm.
and the Mobsters. They even show you how the Jews was brought into the Italian mob, the mobsters.
Yeah, it was organized, man. It was an organized,
very organized,
situation. And
they show you how they even brought Al Capone in.
Yeah, a lot of them guys, man, like they got guys behind the scenes that were a lot bigger than the ones that they showed you. They had front men, but guys that you don't even know, like they still operating today, and people don't even realize who they are because they learned from being out in public specter. They learn how to operate from the shadows. That's why I say a lot of the stuff you got to just do your research on. But man, that's the manipulation line. I mean, you're right about Paul Tagliabue with his didn't want no ties to Vegas because he didn't want the outlook or the perspective publicly to be tied to this. The same thing with Stern. When Stern ran the NBA, he did not want anything to do with it because he didn't want people to even link his league to that. But it's a lot of points, like a lot of people there just are caught up in it. Me personally,
and I can tell people, if you go back and look at the end of some of these games, players try to look kind of mad. This person tried to look kind of mad, but the owners never upset. I've never seen an owner upset at the end of a game.
Nope, it's called shared revenue.
Yeah, just like the end of the Super Bowl. That call that them refs made, the advance Kansas City into field goal range, nobody was upset. No one. Like, why nobody's mad about this?
Yeah, there are some people, the people that paid for it, they was upset.
Yeah, the people that paid for it,
They were going to be upset, but the people that banking, they ain't worrying about, they happy. They ain't worrying about none of that.
You think, what's the dude name? Leary for the Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, not the Chiefs, but the Philadelphia Eagles. You think he was upset because they lost the Super Bowl?
No.
Not when he cashed not when he deposited like a $300 million check for losing.
Yeah, it's profit sharing. That's what keep them quiet. Yeah. They all making money, man, at the end of the day, and that's what it comes down to, profit sharing.
Saints Rams, that blatant pass interference call. I didn't see Gail out there upset, running up on the referees. That was a bogus call.
Nope, no, not even from a litigious level did the Saints issue out any.
I didn't see them sending that to the league office.
Nope, none of that, because it's that revenue sharing model. That's how they all eat happy. The only people mad is you.
Yeah, exactly. Because we paid money to go see it.
Exactly. So it's a model that's set up where you probably. That's why I was like, yeah. If the people became more organized, the people have to be more organized in the league itself. And then when you do that, then you can be able to, that's why I've been telling people for years, is that you're supposed to be getting money from them people. Like, well, how is that, Q? Because they're using your facilities that you paid for to make billions and trillions of dollars off of. You're supposed to be getting something back for that. But
Yeah. And
they
not to
tell
mention,
you that it's your team. But what if it's your team? What does that mean? Does it come with something? Because if it's yours, then that means you're in ownership of it. How much of ownership of the team is yours, or it's just yours in name? No. Legally speaking, they're telling you something real. You're supposed to be getting some paper back from this because they're using public facilities to make for private businesses. Politicians are a part of it. All of them, they work along with the league. I've been telling people for years that
that's why the politicians don't get involved in these boy. I mean, like, just think about it,
They
Q.
ran by them people, bro. I mean, it's a kleptocracy, man. That's what this.
Yeah, just think about it. Congress controls everything in the United States of America. If we complain about these games look rigged, some of these games look pretty scripted, some of these games look pretty rigged, why don't Congress get involved?
They won't get
when they can easily do so.
League got lobbyers there, man. They've been having them for years.
So they got lobbyists there, and the lobbyists won't allow them to get involved.
Nope, and they got people in the federal and at the federal level too. That's why they killed a lot of those lawsuits that the Saints people had, Saints family members had when they were suing the league from a federal level. They smashed all of them lawsuits down. One got through from a guy from Mandeville. And then he retracted. I don't know what they told him, but they might have given him some money. He pulled his lawsuit down, talking about he didn't want it to be a distraction to the team. So, I mean, in the end, Congress is a bunch of puppets, man. The president, they puppets, man. This is a corptocracy. The corporations run this. You lost the country when you allowed the lobbying to be legal. Well, corporations could put people with blank checks up there next to the politicians and basically give them word for word legislation to pass. And when you let that happen, you
just took the words right out my mouth. No congressman or senator writes a bill. The bill is written by the lobbyists and is given to the Congress to bring to the floor.
That should be kindergarten to many people. I don't want to get into a political spiel about it, but
you're right, Q, because I'll get off into that too. But yeah, that is exactly what's happening. The lobbyists are writing the bills. They're giving it to your local congressman or your state senator, bring this to the floor and bring it up for a vote.
It ain't gonna happen, bro. Unless you got somebody. It could happen if the people get on code with each other. That'll happen in sports. That'll happen in everything. They beat you because you ain't on code with nobody. You fight
because I really want to get Roger Goodell out the NFL.
It'll happen.
Roger Goodell has to go.
It'll happen if they get organized.
And Robert Kraft.
Yeah, it's
Robert Kraft and Roger Goodell have to go.
Mm-hmm. If you get organized, you got to be more organized than them to win, man. You can't beat nobody if they're more organized than you. That's how this.
Oh, absolutely not.
You can't. That's the advantage, man. They following a set of rules and guidelines and principles, and you're not. And we still fighting amongst each other, man. We could have so much more in this world if we would learn to stop listening to them. They the reason why everybody fighting.
Yeah.
None of these people run either one of these teams.
Yeah, who that nation?
Red team don't make no difference, man. You don't run none of that. Them people give you guidelines. They don't listen to you. They just tell you what's best for you. And who gives them their money is the people above them, which is the corporations. The corporations run all of this. The Fortune 500, they run all of this. All these people, you look them up, it's the same people, man. They run everything.
If they get a hold of your show, man, they'll try to shut you down because you don't spit nothing but straight fire and facts.
Can't stop
you
us,
don't lie to you don't lie to the people. You tell the people what they want, what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And you can honestly say, something don't look right about this game. Even if we won or we lost, something just didn't look right about that game.
Yeah.
And it looked like some phony baloney going on. The referee's in on it. Roger Goodell is in on it.
Mm-hmm.
The owners are in on it.
Yep. It's all a smelly deal, man. But that's what I was saying about in sports in particular, just to get back on the sports angle. The great Mayweather talked about this, about how bad boxing was and I talk about it on Ring Kings Boxing, how corrupt it is. Boxing is way more corrupt than any sports that you could possibly imagine. But boxing is corrupt. He often talked about the people getting involved to clean up the sport. Cleaning up the sport. How do you clean up the sport? You clean up the sport.
Get rid of the bad apples. Get the bad apples out of there.
Get the bad apples out, and then you got to have people. You got to have the people to get involved as well and not participate and give money to something that ain't right. It's just a dirty game. So, I mean, we do have the power, even though they'll tell you that you don't. That's just technique they use to keep you disorganized. But I mean, we all at each. It's all the same stuff, man. It's all the same stuff. It's all.
Hey, Q, I'm gonna ask you one question here. Then I got to get ready to run.
I want to see who that next can answer this. What's the one thing Tom Brady couldn't do in New England?
One thing he couldn't do in New England. He won
There's one
championships
thing
there.
he couldn't do in New England.
Won Pro Bowls there. He was, I don't know. What's the one thing he did? It seemed like he did everything. What's the one thing he couldn't do?
He could not win a Super Bowl in his home stadium. And what's the first thing he did when he left New England?
He won a Super Bowl in his home stadium.
The first quarterback to do so.
Yes. That's a good one there. That's a good one. Y'all stay with that one. Hey, Ricky, thank you for your call in, brother. Appreciate that, man. Dropping a little knowledge and facts on the family, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Be easy, Q.
You too, my brother. Thank you. All right, that's brother Ricky, man, chiming in, man. Appreciate that, brother, for stopping by, dropping some science, man. You know how that go. But yeah, fam, I mean, this is the truth gonna get out there one way or the other, man. It's gonna get out there one way or the other, whether it's me or you or anybody else. Well, let's get brother Pat Rich up in this thing. Brother Pat Rich, how you doing, sir? How you doing, sir?
Man, long time no talk, bro. How
Seriously,
you doing, man?
Good, bro. You been all right, my man?
Man, sitting here painting these cars right now, brother. That's all, bro.
Painting cars
But
on a Sunday.
I got my AUG shirt on for Mardi Gras, bro. Because I won't be able to make it down that pal. I got money to make, bro.
All
but
right.
anyways,
yeah.
Here we go, man. Let's really talk about this whole deal here, right? Jameis gonna end up in Denver, if you really think about it, right?
With Peyton?
Sean Payton like him? I'm waiting. What you about to say, Q?
I say he gonna end up with Peyton, huh?
Yeah, he gonna end up with Peyton. You already know this, bro. I mean, like, Shuz, man. Russell Wilson don't work out? Oh, okay, no problem, pal. You can't figure out my system? All right, cool. You ride the bench. I don't care. You know, the Waltons got money. They already paid you up front. So now it's time for this little guy to go ahead on get in the game and, you know, up the ante. Man, bro, Dennis Allen don't know what the world he's doing. Me, I don't even give a damn no more, bro. I'm just gonna wait these 3 seasons out for this guy to get up out of here. And once he gets up out of here, bro, then I'll join y'all again. For other reasons why, bro, I'll say it like this here. Who that? I love y'all, bro. If we make it, we make it. But I know under this leadership, we ain't gonna make it because we ain't picked up not one offensive line coach. Hold up, we just lost Zach Street, right?
Yeah, Zach
Am I
Street.
Correct?
Yeah, you lost Zach Street.
Gone.
Yeah.
Right?
And another assistant,
you know
some other guy you didn't hear about, who was an assistant.
Your tight ends coach?
Well, he wasn't a tight ends coach. He was an assistant to that job. So you lost a couple of assistants.
Yeah, he lost a couple of assistants. And have we even went ahead on and even did a search for anybody?
Well,
have you heard about anybody being hired, like talking about it?
You got a tight end coach, Clancy Barone. He's not a bad call on that. That was actually a pretty decent one. And they did get a Kevin Carberry to replace Zach Street, and I think they got one more assistant position offensively they got to fill.
Okay, but this defensive coordinator though that we have now.
The defense.
I'm very suspect on that shit.
Why? What's your hand, Pat? Talk to me.
From the Cleveland Browns. From the Browns.
What you don't like that he come from the Browns? You know he ain't a bad coach though.
Man, look at here. Last time the Browns went to the Super Bowl is when I flushed them down the toilet, okay? So let's be real with ourselves, all right? Let's not fake the funk anymore, all right, bro? I'm just gonna hold my peace, bro, and I'm just gonna let them boys go ahead and ride out these 3 years with Dennis Allen, bro, and I'm done.
You see 2 more years, Pat Rich?
Yeah.
2 more, not 2. I mean, not 1 more year. 1 more year.
1 more year, yeah.
1 more.
Yeah. This being his last year right now.
Right. That's what okay.
This guy got to get up out of here. You know, I just don't like how he's not transparent with the media. I don't like how he's not transparent with us as fans. I mean, we are the ones who go out and support the product, right? If we're supporting the product, then be more transparent with us. Let us know the reason why you didn't go out and put Jameis back in the game. Just don't say, oh, okay, well, he's injured. Oh, well, he says he's not. What are we supposed to do about this? Can we go ahead on and, sign a petition or anything like that at all? No, Gail Benson, Mickey Loomis, all those guys there, all they looking at it as, oh, the fans will come out and they will support.
Yeah.
Be bullshit.
Nah, you're right. That's how that's what I was saying. Code, man. I've been saying the answer to all this is code. You get on code, you teach them. You really hurt them with that in their pocket, man. That's the only thing people understand. Sad to say.
Put it like this here: when we had the ancient, that Superdome wasn't full all the way. Yeah, I mean, like the revenue share, all that type of stuff like that. That's what kind of makes them, like the NFL needs to go ahead and say, okay, this really is a competition. This isn't a friendly battle amongst each other, because what's happening is that the revenue share, it goes ahead and it, supplements for their losses. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I, that's not, if you're going to give me a competitive product on the field, give me a competitive product on the field. Don't just give me some BS on the field and be like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make money off of New England. I'm going to make money off of Jerry Jones. I'm going to make money off the Cowboys, the Redskins, this, that, the other, all that type of stuff. Man, look, no, bro, really go ahead on and actually put a competitive product out there, so that way we can cheer them on and we'll actually know what's going on. Now, this $55 million over the cap thing that we got going on right now, ooh, boy, that's a lot of re-signing. That's a lot of work Mickey Loomis has to do. And I feel that a lot of people are going to be cut behind that too. Just think about it, Q. Cam may not be a Saint by the end of the year. He may be in Bronco land too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on,
not,
bro.
I hope
He is the biggest casualty that we have this year, according to our cap.
I don't think Cam
will be the biggest.
I don't think Cam. I think Cam. The Saints probably going to extend Cam. I think they won't make Cam a Saint for life. If anybody qualifies for that, Cam Jordan should be a Saint for life. So I know this is they need to extend.
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah, but I know in the old past we would put them guys. We did that with Ricky Jackson. Ricky Jackson finished his career 1 year with the San Francisco 49ers, and he won a Super Bowl with them. I'm hoping that now, and that happened with all of our greats. Sam Vaughn, I mean, he left. I mean, Sam Mills, he left to the Panthers.
He went to the Carolina Panthers.
Vaughn Johnson, he left to the Dolphins. Pat Swilling went to the Detroit Lions. So I mean, yeah,
right.
I hope they don't do nothing like that. I hope they treat him like they did Drew Brees and give him all that, man. The guy is one of the best defensive player that we've ever had, not named Ricky Jackson.
Right. And then, even though when you look at it, even on offense, you know what I'm saying? What you had, what's this guy's name? Charles Bentley went to the Browns, did he not?
Yep.
But yet, though, he got paid by the Browns, and he was one of the best offensive linemen that we had at that time, and we chose to let him go. I'm just praying. Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, I ain't gonna put myself out there like that. But I'm gonna say this here. I'm praying that we get rid of Andreas Pete.
I think you're gonna get your wish. You're gonna get your prayer answered. I think Andreas Pete in trouble, Pat.
Oh, there is a God. And I swear to you, bro, I'm looking at the sky and I see it all behind me. You see that there? Yeah, that dude exists. Because if Andreas Pete is gone, then yes, I'm very much so happy. But we just need to find a replacement for him, though. That's all it is to it. Because we paid him so much money over the years. We paid him money after money after money on top of money. And this dude has not even produced. What were we doing? What were we thinking?
I ain't gonna say he ain't produced, Pat. Man, he did some positive things. He had what was it? 3 Pro Bowls? Correct me in the chat, fam. That Andreas Pete went to 3 Pro Bowls. So he gave.
You see my eyes,
bro? I'm just telling you, the game.
They don't buck like that at all, bro. My eyes didn't sit this low, but shit, man, Andreas Pete, bro. Look, hold on.
Pat, you can't play him like.
Let you go by, pal. Look, brother-in-law. You understand what I'm saying? You know what brother-in-law is in football. I'm going to let you slide right by me. Man, that's what Andreas Pete was doing this whole time here. Let that dude go.
I think reached the point where the team looking to get some more play out of whoever they're going to pay at that position. But he wasn't like the guy didn't give you nothing, Pat. I mean, I'm not going to say that, bro. The dude had multiple Pro Bowls he gave you. He gave you some good play. That's better than some of these other guys that we get. What Davenport gave us. He ain't give me nothing. He ain't give us a damn thing. So at least he did that. At least he played at a high level for us.
Let him go. Let Davenport go. You know, that's just like what the dude Peyton, who we picked up in the draft a couple of years ago, right? He hadn't even played a whole season yet. What are we talking about?
Well, you wanted another Davenport type player. You got him.
I didn't want that dude. I didn't want him at all. I was like, look here, trade him for Jadeveon Clowney or whoever in the world we could get at the time. Shucks. If you could have went on and looked at it and say, oh, okay, let's get a Nick Bosa. Oh, let's get this, that, and the other. Any other player but these guys that we've gotten. What were we doing? What were we thinking? We just went ahead on and loaded their pockets. They made it to the NFL. They made their money.
Pat. Three Pro Bowls, bro. He made 3 Pro Bowls as a New Orleans Saint player. Now listen, Andrews Pete was he's a first round draft pick 13 in the 2015 draft, right? He gave you he played a lot of games for you, right? He three Pro Bowls between 2018 and 2020. So, you know, at the end of the day, he played 95 games and he started 90 of the games, 95 games. Now, they don't account for how many games he missed.
Do you know the only reason why he made the Pro Bowl was because he had Armstead right next to him, helping his ass out. That was the only reason why he made the Pro Bowl. Armstead was the Pro Bowl tackle. That's the only reason why he made it.
No, bro. I can't go with you on that, bro. Can't go with you on that, Pat. The man is just because
I just don't like Andrews Pete. I'm sorry.
But there you go. Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay. I gave you that.
If you really want to know, I just didn't like him, bro. I mean, like, come on, bro.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? This Snoop foot bastard, bro, will be out on the field, bro. Next thing you know, 2 plays later, he get injured, and you'll be like, roll him out. Am I lying?
Well, listen, you when you said Jan like him, Pat, that was the you won the conversation right there, bro. Like, okay, well, you know, ain't nothing I can tell you to like the man. I told you, listen, you can say a lot about Andrews Pete, but you could never say he was a first round bust. You could never say that. You couldn't say that. I gave you the years the man made the Pro Bowl. I told you how many games he got there, and yeah, he hadn't been reliable over the last several years in his playing. His play time,
several years, the last 3 years, because you said 2020 was the last time he made the Pro Bowl.
2020 was the last time he made the Pro Bowl. But
okay. So what year is it now? What year is it now?
That's 2023, right? That's why I'm saying that, you make a point to say that he can get going now.
Get him out of here. He got to go.
So he might end up to Denver. You never know. But, yeah, he's number 1 on a list, in my opinion, in terms of a guy you probably going to end up putting in the street. You know, you got Mike Thomas there with the guaranteed money coming up in later on in the year, whether or not the Saints want to deal with that. Then you got Andrews Pete. I think a lot of people looking at Andrews Pete saying it might be a time to move on from Andrews Pete. You can get a guy in the draft to kind of pick up. And even if the Saints did, release Andrews Pete, they got a guy that can slide in this position right now. His name is Hurst, James Hurst. Hurst can play that guard
Hurst
position
will
really
put you in the Hurst. You forgot about that,
not as a guard, he wouldn't. I think as a guard, James Hurst is a good guard. He can play the guard position. The tackle position is what I'm saying. Hurst will put you in the Hurst because he can't.
No, I even said a guard, bro, because guess what, man? I watched him at guard before.
Do you not like James Hurst either?
Bro, anything that has the word Hurst in it, bro, you're dead, okay? You got to think about this, bro.
Oh, man.
We're not going to do this, Q. We're not going to do this at all, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a Hurst, bro, you're in a Hurst, And if you got Hurst blocking for you, bro, expect to be dead. That's all it is to it.
He been doing all right the last several years, though. He been looking all right. Hurst has been doing all right. He's a guy that can play. Listen, Parrish, I'm gonna be honest with you. From the tackle position, I agree with you. But the guard, he's a better guard than he is a tackle. Interior guy, yes, better. He can do that.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, when you look at it in a way, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stick with what I'm saying. I'm gonna say a Hurts is a Hurts, bro. I mean, shucks, but you watch many quarterbacks be quartered off the field because of this guy. Okay, don't do that to yourself, pal. All right, we're not gonna do that to yourself.
So Pat Rich is not a guy. He wants Andrews going. Hurst, you
Gone.
pick up the offensive line. You got to get another guy there. So you might have to hit
Yeah.
the draft after you a few bucks. You might have to hit the draft, brother Pat Rich. So
I mean,
tell
like
me what they need to do.
29th overall pick, bro. I mean, yeah, you can go for your quarterback or whatever like that. I think Henry Hooker is going to fall to the third round or the second round because of that leg injury and him not being able to run at the combine and anything like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, he may be a good pickup for us. You never know.
Yeah, I like him, bro. I'm not gonna tell you no different. And if you'd be good if you get him at the in the second round. If he wasn't injured, he would definitely be a first round draft pick. I mean,
But we don't have a second round pick though, right?
Yeah, we got a second.
Oh, we got a second?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. I was making sure, bro, because I know that, for us going ahead and getting fleeced by Denver for Sean Payton, yeah, we didn't have any picks at all, I mean, like the 29th pick, yeah, that's cool, yeah. But still, all in all, you still got fleeced.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, bro, the Saints got some moves to make, man, and putting a team together. It's gonna be interesting, man. But yeah, I think this is a year you get your answer on Andrews, and I think as well as Dennis Allen, bro.
Dennis Allen got to go, bro. I mean, like, look at as a defensive coordinator, hey, he's the bee's knees, but he has wasted the Mario Davis's time in the NFL at this time. And that's the way I feel about it because you haven't produced an offense. And Pete Carmichael, bro, I would love for Sean Payton to make Pete Carmichael an offer that he cannot refuse and take that son of a bitch with him. Please.
Well, the fallback option for Dennis Allen is definitely when he gets canned here in New Orleans is to go and find Sean Payton and crawl up under him. And I'm pretty sure Pete Carmichael will probably head that way too. So I mean,
I want Pete Carmichael gone this year.
It ain't gonna happen, bro. It could happen if you fired Dennis Allen. Who would the Saints put as the interim head coach until they find another one?
Oh,
I know, right? You can't do Rashad or Ryan Nielsen. So who's the assistant coach? Let me pose that question to the Great Saint Think Tank. Dennis Allen gets canned. Who is the interim coach this year? Chris Rashad's not there. Ryan Nielsen's not there. Who's the interim coach until the team finds a new coach the following year? Who is it? Who do you guys think it is? Is it Pete Carmichael? Is it Joe Woods? Who do you guys think that I don't think the Saints have an interim they have an assistant head coach title on it because I think that was Ryan Nielsen. That was the title they gave.
That was Ryan Nielsen as the title as the assistant head coach.
Right.
But, I mean, that's a good question, Q. That's a good question to pose, pal.
Yeah, because if you want that, bro, you got to be prepared to know who they're gonna put in this stead until they get there.
Brian Young.
Brian Young, the pass rushing coach. That would be interesting to see Brian Young there. I don't know.
I mean, shucks, bro. Anytime that you got, Indianapolis going on and pulling somebody off the street and say, hey, look, Jeff Saturday, why don't you come and coach, pal? You know what I'm saying? So, same thing here. Why not just go on and do it that way? If you're going to have a losing season, you're going to go ahead and have, the first or second overall pick, because that's what I feel that we're about to fall to right now because, hey, we don't have a quarterback. Right? You went ahead on, you've shown no confidence in Jameis Winston, and Jameis was supposed to be your franchise. You paid this man millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Double digits in millions of dollars. And you went ahead and said, oh, okay, well, you know what? For the rest of the year, you're going to sit because you did this interview, and I'm petty to you. Man, that's crazy, bro. No, man. We can't do this.
All right, some of the family members saying Doug Marrone. Okay, all right, thank you, my dog. L-Dub says
Doug Marrone.
Yeah, Marrone was a coach before.
Yeah, he has had head coaching experience and everything like that, but I mean, like, come on, man.
Well, that's just to get you through the year, though. That's just to get you through the year. So after the year over with, you'd be able to hit the hit the block and find your Eric Bieniemy or whoever else you got out there, whoever the hot flavor is. It might be Ronald Curry in the building. You never know. You never know in the
Right,
end,
right,
man. You
right.
never know.
Right. I mean, like, man, look, next year there are a lot of coaches out there, but I think that if we go young with a coach, it's going to take time to build that chemistry, that atmosphere that you need to build, because like Sean Payton said, where's the music, where's the smoke, where's everything like that there, that I had no room at one point in time. Now there's none of that. The culture is gone,
Mm.
and that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's bad for the whole team, and that's one thing about it. And I looked at Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram, hey, that was Mr. Party all the time, really, until he didn't get that yard. Then I went ahead on. I really looked at him and I said, hey, partner, you know what? We're gonna sit you, and we need to sit him. But it is what it is, though, Q, bro. Man, look, bro, to the Who Dat family, bro, I love y'all, bro, but I'm not gonna count on this year, bro. I'm gonna sit it out this year, bro. I watch football and everything like that, but I'm not, I watch the broadcast. I even may come on every once in a while, but I'm not looking forward to this year, pal. Just to let y'all know, as a family, this ain't the year.
There go brother Pat Rich chiming in, man. He's saying he gonna sit it out.
I'm gonna sit it out, bro. I mean, like, sir, like, watch. I bet you Sway sit it out.
Nah, he ain't gonna never sit it out, bro.
Oh, sure.
He ain't never gonna sit it out. He gonna talk this crap.
Sway gonna come on here with a Denver Broncos hat, with a Denver Broncos t-shirt.
No,
all that stuff there. I promise you.
He already turned. He said when Peyton left the team, he ain't got. You can attack him in 8 ways. He don't give a damn. He said once he left the team. He said that on the stream the last time. I think the time before the time he came on. So he already put that out there about Peyton. So he ain't tripping on Peyton no more. He ain't the head coach of the team, so he ain't worrying about it.
I bet you $999 that I will come on this stream and I will see him in an Orange Crush uniform with a Team 3 jersey on, talking about some Go Broncos.
Oh man, I hate to take your $999 there, brother Pat. You gonna let you invest that one, brother. But listen, bro, appreciate you chiming in, man. Oh yeah, I know, brother. You the man. But appreciate you, bro. Good hearing from you again, brother. And you be safe out there.
Oh man, sure, bro. I'm about to go finish painting these cars, bro, and I'll holler at y'all later, man. Y'all Who Dat, bro, and love the family, all right?
Same to you, my brother. Appreciate you and Who Dat to you.
All right, man.
That's brother Pat, man. Appreciate him, man. Chiming in on the stream, man. Always fun talking to Pat. That guy. All right, man. We got another caller, man. We got brother Jay Huntsberry chiming in. Brother Jay, can you hear me, bro?
What's up, Q?
How you doing, sir?
Been a while, man. I've been good. Been a while.
Good, bro. What you think about what the Saints doing, my friend?
Man, I think like everybody else, they messing up. And that's putting it
All right, just break it down, bro. What you don't like, bro?
What is there to like? I mean, so we got a lot of problems. Saints keep dropping the ball, bro. At safety, as much as I love the Honey Badger, love him. I got the jersey. I was so excited. But you let C.D. Deuce go. You let young Ballin go. You let the new one go. You messed that up. You let Ian Book go. You're looking for a quarterback. Rather than Chase Carr, why don't we trade a pick for one of these backup young quarterbacks? Why we don't get Ian Book back? As far as Jameis Winston go, I would love, they should have gave a man an opportunity. I was pulling for him. But when you see your teammates look for somebody else, they looking for another player. It's like a relationship. Baby, you didn't pick me first, I ain't your man. See what I'm saying? That's what it is. If I'm Jameis Winston, I'm telling the Saints, bite the big one. I don't care. Cut me, send me somewhere. Hell, send me to oblivion. I'm out of here. Because as a man, you chose somebody else. You didn't give me an opportunity. You didn't mess me over. And I'm supposed to trust you again. Nah, baby, move on. Go ahead. Do your thing. So Jameis, to me, is out. Even though I would love to have him here, he out. I wouldn't be there. You had Cam Newton 2-3 years in a row recruit other quarterbacks with the man in the building. Sean Payton left. That was his dude. Jameis got all the talent in the world. To me, he nervous. He's a nervous fella. So I don't know, Q. I don't know where you go at quarterback because Andy Dalton ain't it. And as far as y'all killing, what's the kid from Cleveland? I don't like him personally. The one that came from Cleveland played for Carolina.
Oh, Mayweather, Mayfield. I mean,
Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Why wouldn't we bring him in? Why wouldn't we bring him in?
He doesn't inspire confidence in nobody, bro. I mean,
Yeah, bro. He coming from Carolina. Who the hell Carolina put that quarterback and had confidence in? Who did they um train up? Who? I mean, Carolina ain't produced nothing at quarterback. They ain't improved nobody ever that went there ever.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying, the quarter. They're gonna look at several quarterbacks. You know, some guys we agree with, some guys we don't agree with, brother Jay. But I don't know, man. I'm saying about Mayfield. 4 years in Cleveland. Cleveland got done with him, shipped him from next to nothing to the Panthers, and the Panthers released him to the Rams later.
Look at the situation. What Cleveland got there now?
They got Deshaun Watson up there now, and they had Jacoby Brissett at one time. So I mean,
Brissett only played when Mayfield was hurt. And as far as Watson go, they took him from the Saints. The Saints was finna sell a house for him.
They was trying to. It wasn't. He was trying to use the Saints as a bargaining chip to get to Atlanta to build a super team. Then Cleveland jumped in with more guaranteed money. He took the offer. But if Cleveland have not jumped in, the consensus was he was going to Atlanta. That's where he really wanted.
Atlanta or New Orleans. New Orleans was very much in that mix.
They was, but he got them involved. But you know, he could have. It might have been a small percentage chance, but the Saints did everything they could to go and get him, and the man ended up going somewhere else. So, you advocate for Jay? Tell me who you like. You advocating for Baker Mayfield? Is that what you're saying?
Well, for what we gonna pay him, Q? He can be a backup. He better than Andy Dalton, huh? And he younger. Nobody has. I mean, the kid brought Cleveland to the playoffs, didn't he?
He did.
Okay, Cleveland. Come on. Yeah, I'll take him as a backup. So Q, remember, I've been missing for a while, but I'm the same one said if Drew Brees would have played another year, I kept him. I'm the same one said, hey, y'all pull back on Peyton. We getting too spoiled. And look where we at. I'm the same one, Q. It's just been a minute since I've been on here. I'm the same one said about Davenport and the little Peyton Turner. I told you, same player. Same goddamn problem. Didn't I tell you when we drafted him? Remember, you laugh at me. I say, no, I ain't like that. The same damn player.
They are the same player. They said that when they drafted them, they was looking for another Davenport. I laughed because I was like, why are we drafting Davenports? Why aren't we trying to draft Cam Jordans? I don't understand that part. That's what that was my reply to that. It's like, okay, listen, stop drafting Davenports. Let's draft the Cam Jordan. Let's draft, if you like Drew Brees, let's draft Drew Brees type quarterbacks and not try to draft these other types like Davenport 6'5" or 6'6" or whatever, and then he can't stay on the field. So that's what I'm saying. If you like a type, you know, like at least pick a type that's a productive type as opposed to going to guys that can't make it. But I hear you with the Baker Mayfield. The only problem people are going to snare at you on the Baker Mayfield thing is because there's no confidence in Baker Mayfield. How do you feel about Derek Carr, though?
Man, I don't think we should pay that man no starter, no big money. That's me, honestly. Because why I'ma hold up my franchise and put a big amount of money in something that ain't gonna be here for the future and ain't gonna really bring me to where I want to get. He's a stopgap. He's not really what we should be looking for. I think he's an improvement over what we have, but that's neither here nor there because you didn't give Jameis a shot. Same as I got into it with somebody last year when they was Jameis. I said, hey, be careful with Jameis. Jameis threw picks ever since college. That's just who he is. But he has all the talent in the world. Jameis first round pick, Baker Mayfield first round pick. These kids had some talent when they came out. I like Jameis. I like Jameis better than Baker because I don't like Baker as a person. I don't care for the cat. But as far as money goes and reality goes, we got a better chance of bringing Baker Mayfield in here and him having backup money and getting somebody else come in where we got two quarterbacks rather than we spend for Carr. Then what you gonna do? Bring Andy as the backup? Man, if you're gonna do that, like I heard somebody say about
Carr, Andy Dalton is gonna come cheap. So I mean, I don't think you're gonna have to spend a lot of money to get him. He gonna give you a good deal to stay here because he thinks it's an opportunity for him to get some time to play. So I don't think he'll cost you a lot of money.
He won't, but he ain't gonna win you a lot of games.
Right, but you said backup, right?
Well, I say Baker could be the backup, and we can bring somebody in here to compete with him.
Oh,
Like if we bring in Carr and you have Andy as a backup, I don't like that because Carr ain't a world killer. Carr is a mid-range quarterback to me. That's why if we get Carr for 10 million, bring him in. 10, 15 million, bring him in. I'm all for it. But you talking about 30 million, man, skip me. You better draft somebody. Trade for somebody on somebody else's team. Get one of these kids from the 49ers. Bring in Garoppolo. He cheaper. He ain't that much worse than Carr. I mean, for the money, if you building a franchise, you can't hinder yourself if you're already in cap hell with a goddamn Derek Carr.
I got you, Brother J. Brother J says he's not feeling the Carr scenario. He's
I ain't feeling it.
more Baker Mayfield or how about Lamar Jackson? How you feel about the people feel about Lamar Jackson? Do you give up 3 first-round picks to get Lamar Jackson?
Love Lamar Jackson, but again, he gonna cost a lot. If we can get him, he do so many things different that can elevate your offense. So if you lose a few players on offense, that's fine because he ain't got no killer receivers where he at, and he done what he done. But at the same time, each year he's produced a little bit less. Love Lamar Jackson, but if we finna give him 250 million, I don't know. Q, you might want to look at the draft.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's going to play to the air of desperation for the Saints. How desperate and serious the Saints are about acquiring Carr. They might not, if they were willing to absorb his contract during the trade. The only team that was willing to do that, they were going to give him a 3rd-round pick, absorb his contract, and give him his money, and he told them no. He wanted to go into free agency to decide on where he wants to go. So that could
be. He had to take a pay cut with that, Q. That was part of the deal. That could be why he turned him down because he might end up here. Saints still in the mix for him, but he had to take a pay cut. And personally, if he don't want to stick to the Raiders, why not just go on and do the free agency thing? Let them get nothing, and he go on his way. If the Saints offer him the same money and get him for no 3rd-round pick, I'm all for it. But like I say, I don't want to pay him nothing north of 30 million. I don't want to pay him 30. You know. Give him 2 years and prove it. I think he's motivated. I think he'll play better in New Orleans if we got the right coaching staff around him than he did in with the Raiders because he's motivated. He want to prove himself, and that's killer right there. He went out to the Pro Bowl and threw all them darts and won the accuracy. Bring him in for the right money. But the Saints got a problem of letting their young talent go and not keeping the young talent. That's why we in the pickle. That same money you gave the Honey Badger, you could have gave to CD. And I wouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah, well, they got some moves they got that they done did, man. And listen, they still got some moves left to go. And it's that Dennis Allen question is a problem too, because a lot of people believe he's a part of the problem.
Oh
as
yeah.
well. So they got a lot of places to go. But Jay, I'm gonna give you the last word, bro, before I head out.
Well, I'm gonna take up as much time as I can. Not lying. Look, one thing about the running back, we need a running back in the building. We know Alvin gonna be out. Why are they not looking at Darius Geis, who right there in our state? They're not looking at him.
Darius Geis?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody looking at Darius Geis, bro.
Exactly.
He's toxic.
That's why we get him cheap, Q. That's why we get him cheap,
bro. That's very toxic, bro. I don't think they're gonna do that, bro. They're not gonna do that, bro. Darius Geis was facing all that stuff, man. They're not.
What happened with it though? I ain't heard nothing about it. What happened with it?
Well, he still got caught up in a lot of that stuff, and the rape and all that kind of stuff. And anytime you say that,
I thought it was assault.
No, yeah, and all that. The lady alleges that he did, had some assault in a sexual fashion, and a lot of the stuff that he was doing, and he's just toxic, man. They're not gonna touch that brother, bro. They're not. Okay. I just keep an eye. But go ahead, bro. What else you were saying?
Man, I ain't gonna hold you up, Q. I was live. I ain't gonna hold you up. Oh, what you think about Michael Thomas situation? I came in late, man. I've been sneaking around. I've been busy. I ain't been talking to y'all guys like I used to. But I don't know if anybody brought up Michael Thomas and the situation. I think he's gone contractually. But What y'all think about Michael Thomas? What should we do there? Because I know y'all was ready to get rid of him a year or two ago.
I think the Saints probably. I would like to try to keep Mike, but the money is a problem, man. He got all that money that's coming to be guaranteed, and by the looks of that, I think probably Saints gonna end up releasing him. I don't think they're gonna pay him that guaranteed cake. That's just how I see it. I really don't want to see him go, but the Saints kind of structured this thing the way they did. Yeah, so it could be the end of Michael Thomas here in the New Orleans Saints uniform, man. So we'll see how it goes, bro. I don't know, man, but it's not looking good, man.
Yeah, it's not. I agree with you 100. Unless they restructure it some kind of other way, but I don't know if you can do that twice in a season. I don't work for the NFL, so
Yeah,
but that's it, man. It's been a lot. As far as them defensive ends go, it's been a lot. Me personally, I think we should keep Davenport for another year or two on to prove it because he pressures. But I like Granderson, and if that kid that they drafted come off the IR and do something, he's another Davenport. But Davenport has a high pressure, but he doesn't finish the play. He doesn't get the sacks, but he has a high pressure rate, you know. So I think they should keep him because like they did with Trey Hendrickson, they let Hendrickson go because he had that big year and they had to pay him. Well, Davenport hadn't had that big year. So if you invested 2 first-round picks is really what we put into him, I need to get something back off my investment. So I would try and see if he would stay around on a team-friendly deal for a year or two. And that way, if he explode and we got money in 2 years, look, we'll take care of you. We didn't put this money in you, we ain't got no production. Same with Michael Thomas. We didn't put this money into you, we ain't got no production. You guys give us 1, 2 cheap prove-it years, and we'll keep y'all around. We'll see what they do. But Dennis Allen, I think the consensus is clear. Most Saints fans don't care for him. He was a losing coach where he was. He a losing coach where he at. He's a great defensive coordinator, and that's where he should have stayed. I also think our offensive coordinator didn't want to originally take that position because he was waiting on Sean Payton. I think he wanted to wait a year and go wherever Sean Payton go, because that's been paying his bills for how many years? Because he ain't done shit this year, to be honest.
Yeah, the Davenport situation. I don't know, man. About keeping Davenport. I mean, we said a prove it deal, but there could be teams out there that want to bring that guy in. I'm thinking like I'm looking at Atlanta for whatever reason. I'm looking at Atlanta saying that this team can end up getting him because Ryan Nielsen's over there and they need a pass rusher, and Davenport might be the kind of guy they're looking at. And Atlanta sitting what $50+ million right now. The Saints have to work it down. Atlanta's sitting with some money right now. I don't know if it's 50 or not. I know they're sitting on some bread right now. So I don't know about the Davenport thing. I think his course might have been ran here. I think the Saints need to look forward if they're not going to address it in the draft, perhaps free agency.
I'm tired of them addressing in the draft.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. They got to get to a point where they're going to have to be able to do something with it. So I don't know, man. I think Davenport is done unless he decides to take a cheap prove-it deal. I don't know why he would do that, man, to be honest with you. I don't know why he would take a cheap prove-it deal when they're going to have other teams that's reaching out to him to give him decent money.
Davenport has the highest pressure in the league, but he just don't get the sacks. Granderson is more productive. He get to the quarterback.
That's what it's about. I ain't giving you no money for pressures. You got to get.
But they get you off your spot, Q. You show him potential. The kid he didn't play defensive end his whole life. He was a receiver.
I hear you, but
that's why I didn't like him bringing in Peyton Turner.
Yeah, but see, regardless, you got to be able to get sacks from the end position, and a lot of times Davenport was single blocked. So the hell with pressures, he got to get home. Like he got to get home. You got to get sacks, man. If you're talking about making money and being the guy, and not only that, but not only the facts, he ain't giving you no sacks. We could talk about pressures all day, but he ain't giving you the sacks, and he missing too many games. Now he did better this past season, but was that a aberration? Was that just what he did that year? Because the 3 prior years, he spent more time on the injury list than he did on the field. So those are the 2 things that you got to deal with. You got to make sure if I'm paying Davenport money, and I picked you as a first-round draft pick, we moved up extra picks to go and get Davenport just for him to lead the league or be a top 5 or top 10 guy in pressures. No, you got to get home, bro. You got to get home. We need you to get home. We need you to get to the quarterback, especially when you dealing with Cam is doing double blocks and sometimes triple blocks, and Cam's still getting sacks. So how do you explain Davenport, who's single block most of the times? He has to get home, and then if you go look at some of the game, he couldn't even beat backup offensive lineman tackles to the quarterback. When we were playing injured tackles on that side of the field, he couldn't even get past them. So yeah, he is a lot of stuff have to change about Davenport, man. I question a lot of stuff about Davenport, and I think the Saints have given Davenport an ample amount of time to figure out what he's going to do. That's why Peyton Turner was a thing. They drafted Peyton Turner because they knew eventually that Cam is going to get old, and if Davenport can't stay healthy and produce, that this guy might be the guy. So we'll see about the Davenport thing, but I don't know, bro. I think Davenport stand for a prove it deal. I don't know if he does that unless he wants to make it right with the Saints, but something telling me other teams going to get involved and bring him up out of here. And if they do that, more power to him. Hasta la vista, because we need production from the opposite side if we're going to do something on the defense this year.
Yeah. Who's your number one free agent on the team?
The top free agent to sign for the Saints?
No, that's on our team that we should retain.
Oh, yeah, the top re-sign. Man, I would have to say it would be my top guy to re-sign. Well, I would look at I would say David Onyemata. I want to keep David Onyemata. I just think they need to give him some help. He need to address the nose tackle position next to him. Stop trying to put tweener tackles there and put a nose tackle next to him. That's where you'll get the best of them, just like you got the best years out of him when Malcolm Brown was perched next to him. You put Malcolm Brown there, or a guy like Malcolm Brown, or a nose tackle next to him, you'll get the very best out of David Onyemata. But him getting double blocked, and he got wore down this year, something fierce. He got pushed back on his back several times in games. I never seen that happen to David Onyemata, but it wears on you when you got to keep doing that, and then it's just ridiculous. So hopefully David Onyemata is a guy, because I really don't want to get rid of Onyemata, and then you have to bring somebody. It's too much flux there, so at least keep your best interior defensive lineman there in place. I think Onyemata is probably the best unrestricted free agent guy that I would want to bring back the team. Now, there are several restricted guys like Juwan Johnson, and bringing him back to the team. Yeah, Juwan is restricted, so if somebody makes him an offer, the Saints can match it or get something for him. But in the end, like I said, man, it's I think David Onyemata should be the guy, man, and the Saints have to fix the offense. They got to fix the offense, and they got to do something different, man. They can't come in there with that same mess they did there last year, and it appears to be the same thing, because they didn't really make any change of philosophy as far as the coordinator still the same. We did get Curry back. He did decide to stay with the Saints. Perhaps they told him, listen, man, we give you the this, that, and the third. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I think we need some change, and a lot of changes happen from the top on down, bro.
Yeah. Now Johnson is my guy. And I'm gonna tell you why I would retain him. He's young, he's very productive and underutilized. Even if we hold him, if we can keep him in place for a new coaching staff, which I think is coming next year, that will utilize him, we got something. We don't need to draft another tight end. We've been looking for a tight end since Colston. We got one. The dude is productive when thrown his way. He's my number one guy as far as retaining.
Okay. Well, there you go, bro. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting, man, to see. And while you was talking, I was looking up Darius Geis and see where he is. And he's definitely trying to get back into the league. Nobody really paying him no attention about what he's going, based on several reports that he's eligible to get back into the league. But like I said, man, you got a lot of baggage, man, that you're dealing with, man. A lot of baggage, a lot of damn baggage with Darius Geis, and I don't know too many teams are willing to take a risk on him. I'll probably tell Darius Geis take his ass to like the XFL or one of those type of leagues and try out there, and then they'll watch him from afar, and based on how he behaves and what he does, then he can kind of work his way back to the league. But you jumping straight from off the street back into the league, that ain't gonna work like that. Especially when you got, and he might have very well beat a lot of those charges that he's seen, but it's still a face first league. It's a visual league, and a lot of people are not gonna want to stick it to you. Want to be able to give you the opportunity and give you an opportunity to do that. So I don't know, man.
Me personally, Q,
he might have to just work his way up.
Of rape and that's all over with, I would bring him in. Kareem Hunt kicked the shit out that woman, and he's still in the league. Kareem Hunt is a free agent that we will be looking
he
at.
did. But remember what happened with Simeon Rice? When Simeon Rice did that, after he hit that poor lady like that and knocked her down like that, he couldn't sniff the league. You know, that was over when he was at the top of his game at the time. So like I said, every situation is different. You know, every situation is different. And I'm not saying he can't get there, but at some point, you know, he might have to take a lesser approach, like going to the XFL. There's the XFL and USFL, both those leagues play in the summer. You start there and work your way up, and then they'll watch him plot, you know, they'll look at his progress and see where he is and if he can get that, because he's a talent, man. He just was a head case, man. A lot of the stuff that he was doing at LSU, that was just absolutely insane, man. And then when he, you know, and all this kind of stuff, man, you gotta, people will give you second chances depending on what you did. They'll give you second chances, but at the same time, the man got to be able to, you know, he gonna have to take a step up some kind of way, man. Get involved, go to one of those little leagues and work your way back into it. He's still very much young, if that's something that he wants to do. But I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, I hope the kid get it straight and come back, because I think he got 1 or 2 Pro Bowls in him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talent, man. It's just like I said, it's a lot of the stuff that goes on with some of these guys, man. Is mental health is a real thing in this world, man. And a lot of these guys need to get the help sometimes, man. A lot. If you got that issue, you got to go get that help, man. Go talk to somebody and let them give you some game. Let them put you in the direction of something you can listen to help you, or some exercise regimen, or a book, or whatever you got to do to get whatever you need so you can get where you got to be going. That's something that a lot of the people out there have to deal with. So, I mean, mental health is a real thing. But thank you, Jay. Appreciate you chiming in, bro. Appreciate you talking to us and the Great Saint Think Tank, bro, for dropping some science with us. Thank you, bro.
Man, keep doing what you're doing, bro. You pushing our team, and you keeping it real. So appreciate you.
Same to you, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
That's Brother Huntsberry chimed in, man. Appreciate him chiming in on the stream, man. As always, the Great Saint Think Tank is always welcome to drop by and drop some science with your boy. And listen, fam, that's going to put us over the 3-hour mark, and we'll end there. As I look at the clock, and it reads Central Time 4:44. That is 3 4s, family. Yeah, that's a good number. All right, so shout out to the fam, man. I appreciate y'all for being in this thing, man. Listen, we covered a lot today, didn't we, family? We opened up the phone lines. We had some interesting dialogue with the fam. We did the first TSC mock draft early in the show. We covered some news. We talked about the topic of discussion, which was the top Saints restructure candidates as well. We mentioned that. So at the end of the day, we covered a lot of good news, did a lot of good stuff on this 3-hour feed. Y'all know we in the building. All right, so with that being said, we're going to clock out on that. Family, look, do me a favor. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shop. Links is in the description section below. We up in this thing, and I see you. I see you, Lucas. Anybody that wants to send me they mock drafts, feel free to send it to the company email. That's the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. The PRO Media Network at gmail.com. Y'all know, you send me your mock drafts. I'll do my best to post them, or have somebody to post them on the community feed. And stuff like that. It's mock draft season, so that's how you reach out. And through the company email, always seem to get it. Me and several other people are fixed to that thing. So yeah, do that. Check out the Pro Shop. If you're not a subscriber, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and join the family. I appreciate all the family members. Please feel free to hit the like button, and also feel free to share the show on your social media feed. It helps us out a lot in this piece.
That's who you are. And when you find that out,
All right, and that's Dick Gregory right there dropping some science as well. So listen, fam, I appreciate y'all for chiming in. I'm going to holler at y'all on the flip side, man. Y'all have a productive week starting off, man. I'm going to hit you on Monday. We'll talk about some more Saints news. Much love to you. Who dat? And I'm out.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Running like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. So check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.
Daily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site.